and my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. I'm proud to be. In whatever cinch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder, and my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. I'm proud to be. In whatever cinch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder, and my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. I'm proud to be. In whatever cinch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. You may call me obsessive, partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. I'm proud to be. In whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder, and my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. I'm proud to be. In whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Higurashi When They Murder. The Atonement arc, aka the answer arc to the very first chapter of the questions, Onikakushi. I'm here with David and Kayla as always. Thank you. How you doing?
I am Kayla.
I'm David.
And
You sound too tired to keep doing this, Kayla.
Oh no.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Sadness.
I'm up. I just woke up from nap. I'm good.
All right.
Oh yeah, fair. You get the tiredness of the naps. Hopefully you have some caffeine or something, or technically you shouldn't have
half
that.
a soda.
Yeah. Hey, just some guy. Yeah. I'm still dealing with a little bit of a lingering cough and stuff from the COVIDs. But it's getting better, at least. Hi, Noble. Good to see you. How you do? I'm not. That's not Angie. Why? Happy face. Damn it. There we go.
Angie, that Noble's here. I can't believe
No, I'm never Angie that Noble's here.
I don't know. That's what your avatar just did.
No, I didn't mean to. Anywho, we are continuing off Sumihoro Boshi Atonement with I'd also be angry that Noble is here. No, I'm always happy to see you, Noble. So last time, shit, what happened last time? Rena is still dealing with her oh right, we heard a little bit about what happened in Rena's past with meeting Oyashirozama.
Oh, yes.
Oh, right, with creepy.
We got more of the
girlfriend.
details. We got the details from her
Yeah.
perspective.
A mental hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, she was in a mental hospital. She got medication for what the doctors were saying was hallucinations and various
Delusions,
problems. That she had to go back to Hinamizawa. And it was probably a good idea to do that, or else it would just keep coming back or get worse. She's dealing with a type of schizophrenia, they seem to think. But yeah, she was explaining her symptoms and things that happened, and her text color started to get a different shade instead of the like nice pink that it was. Yes, previously in Higurashi. Hey, Fies, how you doing? Then we got a bit from the doctor's perspective too in the tip section about why they did what they did. And they kind of they agreed with the dictation about her wanting to go back to Hinamizawa if that's what she thinks would keep her from being stressed out and causing problems. Metaverse mission. Yeah, that was a big thing. That was a very big thing, Vice. Oh God. I'm glad everyone's just, like. Well, that was mission success and nobody died. Thank fuck for Bardic Inspiration being allowed to be used for Rochelle. But yeah. Yes, thank you for the trigger warnings, Kayla. Appreciate that.
Got you.
Oh man. I'm trying to remember what else happened. So like, yeah, Rena is still worried. Oh right, Rena was talking about Rena had met up with what's her face beforehand, before she died.
Creepy girlfriend.
Yeah,
Creepy girlfriend got some more information about the curse and about like her research on that.
Rena has her notebooks.
Rena has her notebooks
Right.
in this arc.
And scraps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
notebooks.
Rena has all the information, but she won't fucking read it.
And won't give it to
because
the
like a
police.
creepy girlfriend brought on like memories that she didn't want to remember, and now she's kind of freaking out again.
I mean, understandable.
So yeah, we get to see where it goes from
and
there.
Oishi showed up at their school to
Oh
talk
yeah.
to Rena.
Oh yeah, Oishi came to talk to Rena
right.
about the two of them disappearing, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was last known with Creepy-san, I think.
Yeah, because I think they saw each other at, like they all
She
saw
was
each
one
other
of the
at
last
the
known ones, yeah.
Yeah, they all saw each other at the
everybody saw
festival.
each other at Watanagashi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let us continue. Do you want to start narrating, David?
Sure, I'm down. Huh? About homing ability and homesickness. If you interpret homing ability in a broad sense, you can say that most animals have a homing ability. It's the same with humans. We like to sleep, rest, and eat at a place where we feel comfortable, namely our homes. Your home is to you what nests are to animals. Therefore, we can say that humans have a homing ability as well. First of all, why do animals need nests? The answer is the same as for humans. Sleeping, resting, and eating are the essential actions for survival. At the same time, those actions leave one defenseless as well. That's why you need a safe area where you can be defenseless. Everybody knows that not having this safe area results in a high level of stress. When you move an animal to a new environment, it naturally becomes stress. When you force a person to live in a foreign land where they aren't comfortable, they become greatly stressed as well. Everyone also knows that this kind of stress is called homesickness. The Japanese don't know much about homesickness. We defined it as mental weakness and we neglected to treat it for a long period of time. However, homesickness has a very long history. In Europe's Middle Ages, people believed that it wasn't a mental but rather a physical disease. People also believed that out of everyone, the Swiss got the disease the most. The Swiss, you see, were known to be an ethnic group that worked away from home in that era. They lived far away from their homes. There were no telephones at that time, so they couldn't even hear their families' voices for ages and ages. It's easy to imagine that the young Swiss workers got homesick while working in a strange land. Those Swiss who got homesick wanted to go home, but they couldn't because of their jobs. The conflict made them weak physically and mentally. Some of them went crazy and tried to escape from their reality by committing suicide or running away. The Swiss at the time were very superstitious, and many folk remedies and occult like treatments to prevent homesickness went around. Since going home was the only treatment, they must have called it a fatal disease. But it isn't really one, of course. Specifically, homesickness is a sign of that human homing instinct. Your brain desires to go back to your safe area, namely your home. At first, your brain makes you remember the happy memories of your home, and it urges you to go home in a natural way. But when reason stops you from achieving your desire, your brain starts sending unnatural signals to your body. As a result, your body gets weak, and that makes it more difficult for you to live in a strange land. In the end, you have to bend reason in order to achieve your desire to go home. So, homesickness is born from our homing instinct, and the stronger one's homing instinct is, the stronger their homesickness.
As someone of Swiss descent, I take offense to some of this. Really? Oh. This is a
This
weird
is
thing. This game was also, this game was made by somebody who is a social worker in Japan, I believe. Or
Yeah.
at least has some background in it. So it's a kind of a weird, I guess some weird knowledge.
The strength of that homing instinct varies from individual to individual and depends on the environment in which those individuals live. When your home is safe and the environment you live in is dangerous, your homing instinct grows stronger. On the other hand, when the environment you live in is safer than your homing instinct becomes very weak. Safety isn't the only element that affects its strength. Cultural aspects affect it too. The many customs demanding families to return home for major events varies with each region, so your birthplace's culture also alters the strength of your homing instinct. Amongst those regions, the transcendents of Onigafuchi village were believed to have an excessively strong homing instinct. The people of Onigafuchi forbade their fellows from ever leaving. Many believed this was the effect of the elitism and sense of purity I already mentioned before. People today still strongly believe that Oyashirozama puts his curse on you if you break his rule and abandon the village. This superstition can be interpreted as homesickness. If homesickness is directly proportional to one's homing instinct, then the exaggerated expression, curse, would signify the strength of that homesickness, and also their homing instinct. I can assume that they hated the outside world and created an insular society precisely because of their powerful homing ability. This feels like something that should be in a tips
Hmm.
I agree.
and not the start of a chapter. Unfortunately, there's no way to measure the strength of the homing ability that the primitive people of Onigafuchi had. It was so strongly forbidden to leave the village that nobody left long enough to get homesick. However, after the Meiji era, things changed. The sacredness of Onigafuchi dwindled with the efforts of modernization.
I'm trying to remember when the end of the Meiji period ended in 1912. Okay.
Many young people started longing for city life, and some people were forced to leave the village to get a job. As a result, villagers started venturing outside the village borders. That was when the transcendence of Onigafuchi realized how strong their homing ability was for the first time. The residents of Hinamizawa got extremely homesick. After a while, people started to call this homesickness the Curse of Oyashirozama. It became rumored that a person who left the village to get a job in a strange land was cursed, that he went crazy and died, and people who had left the village started coming back to either it or the nearby town. Their homesickness and their homing ability were very strong because of their culture. It's reasonable to think that these were cultivated by the unique religion in Hinamizawa, namely the cult of Oyashiro-sama. From the moment they were born, they were taught the rules of Oyashiro-sama. They must have felt guilty about leaving the village unconsciously. As a result, they considered their homesickness to be the curse of Oyashiro-sama.
Can stick around tight, but you kids have fun with your murder games. Got everything you need. More blankets, pillows, pizza rolls, anything to drink. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by, Daniel. I understand. I got my caffeine. I got my water. I got the peeps. I got my
So why is this not in tips?
wild mount blanket.
I don't know. I assume that this is like
I'm wondering if this
the way
is
this reads.
part
It
of the
feels like it's creepy girlfriend's
yeah.
journal.
I was thinking part of the notes
But-
too.
I thought Rena wasn't going to read that.
No, wasn't she thinking about reading it?
She was thinking about reading it now that she's dead.
I'm not sure if they're. I don't know, man.
Thanks for the lark.
I'm not sure if their homesickness got stronger because of the rules of Oyashiro-sama, or if they made the rules of Oyashiro-sama because their homesickness got stronger. I don't know which came first. We get it. Oh,
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
Oh, Rena's still in this orange color instead of the pink one. Very good. I got tired of reading such small print and lay down on the floor on my back. The true identity of the curse of Oyashiro-sama is homesickness? Creepy-san believed my story and she let me read these scrapbooks. That's why I expected to find something interesting. But what it's saying is that the answer to it all is homesickness, which many doctors told me so many times at counseling. I'm a little upset. The word homesickness can't explain the extraordinary experience I had. Okay, so it is Rena reading.
Yep.
I saw Oyashiro-sama come down to me from a bright light in the bathroom. I saw the dusty red nasty maggots come out of my blood vessels. This scrapbook doesn't explain any of that. I don't understand how Creepy-san was going to explain the cloud of maggots. Maybe she didn't have any explanation of that to begin with. Was it just a delusion? I flipped through one of the other scrapbooks Creepy-san let me borrow, looking for an explanation of the maggots I saw. Then I found it. It had the exact title I was looking for. How convenient!
Woohoo. About maggots and the Curse of Oyashiro-sama.
Wow, that's an extremely convenient title. In the Meiji era, a group of villagers were on their way back to Hinamizawa, and they started discussing a rumor about a weird disease. They said that maggots started crawling out of the wounds of a person who left Hinamizawa, and that the maggots ate the person's body from the inside. Ouch. The Shinto priest at the Furide shrine at that time explained that the weird disease was a sign of the curse of Oyashiro-sama. According to tradition, the Shinto priest showed the villagers an ancient scroll, and he told them that the story of the maggots had been passed down through the ages. This is what the scroll said. The world where the demons came from must be interpreted as the land of death, and the demons in that land of death had to live their lives while being eaten by maggots. The villagers who were of the demon's blood had nothing to worry about as long as they lived in Hinamizawa under the protection of Oyashiro-sama. But once they left Hinamizawa, abandoning that protection, the maggots that had been sleeping in the blood of the demons would start to awaken, and they'd eat their bodies from the inside out. Huh.
Interesting.
Cool. This maggot disease scared the villagers for a while, as it should.
No,
Mhm.
really.
And they asked
I
us
wonder
trying
why.
to
Yeah.
provide them with protective talismans whenever they had to leave the village on business. This is interesting, as it's similar to the way homesickness was dealt with by the Swiss in the Middle Ages. Okay. Drawing connections, very good.
Mm-hmm.
After the war started, the delusion of the maggot disease faded away, but there remained a custom to send talismans to families that lived away from Hinamizawa. The talismans had the word maggot on them. But the most interesting part about all this is that the residents of Hinamizawa didn't know about the maggot disease until the rumors began.
Interesting.
I thought that their unconscious worship made those people think of homesickness as a curse. So this case of the previously unknown maggot disease directly contradicted the research I had done so far. It's natural to think that the group of people who were on their way back to the village were lost in a mass delusion because they strongly believed in the curse, and that the Shinto priests took advantage of their state of panic to instill a deeper fear in them.
Your faith.
Faith. Not fear.
I don't think anybody is not afraid of Oyashirozama.
I mean, truth.
Like, look at the
Truth.
way they talk to him.
That's
But I'm
fair.
not fully convinced that it was merely a coincidence that this mass delusion matched with the story in the old picture scroll. I wonder if it's possible to see maggots in a wound without having the prerequisite knowledge when a person is cursed by Oyashiro-sama. I wish Oyashiro-sama would put his curse on someone I could study. I'd love to see those maggots coming out of someone.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
wow.
boy.
girlfriend song was alright.
I felt as if Creepy-san was here and making that request of me. I remember when she gave me the scrapbooks, she said that I might be the only who could understand them.
What the fuck?
I felt good just for a moment because I found out that the maggots weren't that's
That's literally
No,
what it
that's not.
said.
But at the same time,
Where did that say that?
Yeah.
I think that's a gross misinterpretation.
Yeah.
Destroyed my excuse that it was a delusion. No, it didn't.
No.
No.
The maggots
no,
were
Renna.
That's not what that said.
No. Oh no, Rena.
They were there. Okay, sure.
That's literally not what that said.
All of a sudden, my wrists, elbows, inner thighs, and neck started itching. I felt the urge to cut open a blood vessel, but I quietly held it down. I remembered that Creepy-san looked very serious when I talked about the maggots, as she should have. She must have thought it was creepy.
Okay, she's creepier.
Yeah, she's creepier. That's why we call her Creepy Girlfriend. But so did I. While I was crying because nobody believed me, a part of me didn't want to believe that my body was filled with those creepy things. I think part of me wanted to believe that it was a delusion.
But yeah, that's what it's saying.
But now I know it wasn't.
You don't.
It wasn't a delusion. There are some people who had the same experience.
Something called a mass
Maggots
delusion.
In the demon's blood will awaken when you lose the protection of Oyashiro-sama.
That's called a mass delusion.
That doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a delusion, girl.
Yeah, the priests instilled the story into it.
Oh yeah, it's just that one priest saying it.
Yeah. In other words, they may not awaken under the protection of Oyashiro-sama, but all the villagers still have the maggots in them without knowing it. People of the demon's blood are people who have the creepy maggots in their bodies. I tried not to jump to conclusions and flipped the pages again. I unconsciously looked for something related to maggots.
Uh-huh.
Oh, good. About parasites and control of the host. Okay.
Interesting.
The maggot disease made me think about something. Is it possible to say that the extremely strong homesickness of Hinamizawa was an infectious disease caused by some kind of parasite? I'm not trying to connect the maggots they saw with parasites. I'm trying to think about the possibility that their culture, religion, might be associated with an infectious disease. Many infectious diseases are caused unintentionally by parasites. Parasite's host is literally its home. It wants to live within the host's body for as long as it can. The best way to do that is to coexist with the host without the host knowing it. But some parasites try to control their hosts and use them for prosperity. For example, Some parasites have an ability to control their host in order to force them to be eaten by a superior host. A typical example is the Dicrocilium dendriticum.
Yeah, dendritic.
I don't know. It uses snails or ants as intermediate hosts, and it forces them to move to the upper side of vegetation so that it's easier for a superior host to consume it. I actually have heard of those,
Yeah,
but I
me
don't
too.
know the proper name of them. One parasite that controls more complicated animals is called Toxoplasma gondii. It uses mice as intermediate hosts, with the superior hosts being cats. This mouse parasite makes a mouse lose its fear of cats in order to increase its fear of getting eaten, so that the parasite can live within a cat instead. Horrifying.
Hmm.
Parasites are just like such horrifying creatures.
Hmm.
They're like aliens, but like real.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
There are parasites that choose hosts at random. The rabies virus is commonly known for that. It lives and breathes in the brain of a host, and it moves into the host's saliva through the salivary glands. It makes the host
Rabies is a parasite?
Yeah, that's new, especially because they refer to it as a virus, but okay. It makes the host extremely aggressive in order to make it bite things randomly so that it in turn can move into other hosts through the saliva. That's what rabies does. Many parasites have a similar ability to control hosts to their benefit. Examples I used above are about parasites that move into other hosts to prosper, but I think there must be some kind of parasite that controls its hosts in order to have a comfortable environment in which to live. I want to try to connect this theory to the abnormal homing ability and homesickness of the Onigafuchi residents. Let's say that there's some kind of parasite that exists in Hinamizawa, and it lives within all of the villagers' bodies. For the parasite, Hinamizawa is the most comfortable environment to live in, so it gives the host a strong homing ability in order to make them stay in Hinamizawa. Furthermore, it causes the host to get homesick whenever they ignore this homing ability and try to leave. Parasites need hosts in which to live. It's convenient for them if their hosts build a community in the environment where it feels comfortable. This theory makes it easier for me to explain the mysteries I described earlier. Okay. The Transcendents of Onigafuchi knew about the existence of this parasite. They knew that, as hosts to the parasites, they couldn't live outside the village. That's why they created a culture and rules that prohibited contact with the outside world. It also explains why people acted so abnormal during the dam conflict. So, the demons that came out of the swamp in the legend of Oyashirozama can be interpreted as the mass spread of the parasite. The story about the demons attacking the villagers must be a metaphor for the behavior of the infected villagers who are controlled by the parasite.
Interesting.
This theory is too crazy. I should have just laughed about it. But I felt bad for Creepy-san, so I decided not to. Hinamizawa is controlled by a parasite? You could use that theory to explain how the maggots came out of me. I felt a little bit dizzy. I was so confused. And a part of me thought it was ridiculous. And another part of me thought it was more convincing than any curse. But Creepy-san was probably erased because she wrote these scrapbooks. If so, the contents of these scrapbooks must be something that they can't ignore. They try to get all of her scrapbooks and consign them to oblivion. What if they notice some of her scrapbooks are missing? I felt a chill running through my spine. I have to keep it a secret that I have these scrapbooks, and I'll have to try to understand more about their contents. I remember Creepy-san told me that the three families are behind this series of mysterious deaths, and that they're trying to resurrect the cult of Oyashirozama. According to the theory I just read, the parasite must be trying to maintain the current environment of Hinamizawa. The healthiest environment for it is a completely closed village, just like the primitive Onigafuchi. Must be very comfortable for the parasite if no hosts go outside the village. They don't even like that the villagers often leave the village to go shopping. That means the parasite would try to goad the hosts into resurrecting the cult of Oyashiro-sama. I remember there was an article in the scrapbook saying that the demon's blood runs thickest in the three families. That would mean that they have a larger amount of the parasite in them than the other villagers, and that they're under its control. Is that how parasites work? I don't know if that's how parasites
I don't
work.
know.
I mean, I feel like parasite is usually one entity rather than multiple. From my knowledge of parasites.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not a fucking parasitologist.
Yeah.
That's
I don't think the
definitely
creator.
not
I don't think the
that's
creator
definitely
of
not the
this.
term for
I don't think the
people who
creator of
study
this visual
parasites.
novel is either. So.
The three families seem to be planning to bring the village back to the Onikafuchi era. Reviving the Watanagashi festival after the dam conflict can be interpreted as their desire to revive the faith that had started to fade away in the Meiji era. Oh, no! It is in fact a parasitologist.
No.
That's
Wait, really?
what Google tells
My
me.
God.
Oh.
Yeah, people who study parasites,
Oh.
parasitologists.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I don't think the creator of this. I don't think he's a parasitologist, the creator of this thing. So, like, how close that is to reality is.
maybe that's legit science there within the within the scope of the game.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, cool. The three families, especially Sonozaki's, have a great influence over the region and public organizations. What's going on here? Yeah, I don't know if parasites can control people this much, but okay, sure. I believe that better than I believe time loops. So, what's going on here? I thought this to be a poorly written theory, but the pieces fit together, one after another. I've never played a jigsaw puzzle as crazy as this. I felt my brain swirling due to this absurd theory. Part of me thought this was ridiculous, and another part of me thought I might be about to expose an unbelievable truth. When I tried to look into the center of it, I felt as if I was going to fall into the whirlpool and drown. I'll have to devote myself to reading more seriously. There must be some truth to this. Caused misfortune and made my life miserable. After I moved to Ibaraki, I might be able to find the truth, including the cause of my parents' divorce and my desperate behavior. Right then, I heard a knock on the door all of a sudden, scaring me. I hid the scrapbooks under a cushion. Rana, you have a phone call.
Phone call? This late? Who is it?
It's from a bookstore. Did you order some books? They said they were ACOP sound from the Okonomiya bookstore. A very weird name for a bookkeeper.
Oh man.
Okay. Well,
So, yeah, how we doing? What y'all think about that?
Is so weird.
ACOP is very weird, but that is okay, excusing that that's definitely not how parasites work. That's the most believable theory we've gotten so far, but it does not cover everything. It also does fit with the one inadvertent spoiler I gave myself.
Mm-hmm.
Cheater.
Look!
Mm-hmm.
I've
Saying the
apologized.
truth here.
I've apologized many times.
Yep.
And you'll need to apologize many more for cheating.
Yeah.
Like it.
But yeah, there's still
see
other stuff that's definitely not explained here. Like, are they going through? They're definitely going through like time loops of this time. Rika can still see the future, almost certainly. There's still some weird fucking shit going on.
Yeah, and who's actually killing people?
Dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah, which is why
You
this
have
is
to
only
say
the second
sorry
answer
till
arc.
We think you're Canadian.
Yeah.
You have to say sorry till we think you're Canadian. David is Canadian.
Yeah, I am Canadian.
That's good. David actually is Canadian.
That's gonna take 2 seconds since we know he's Canadian. God.
Yeah, right? There you go. Thank you very much for the 100 bits. We're glad we could answer that question for you during this arc.
Oh, Fogbot, I'm real sorry. Why don't we go out for a rip? Go chill in the igloos. We'll take our moose out to get there.
It could be Canada. It could be Minnesota. Yeah. Oh, golly gee there.
Oh,
Gotta go fishing for crappies out in the lake.
That's not a real accent, is it? No.
Minnesotan accent? No, yeah. Just ask my bandmate who's from Minnesota.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta like that, don't you know?
I just thought that was a movie thing.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh my god.
Here's a question. Let's see. Do you want me to do some narration?
If you want, sure. I just spent that whole half chapter talking.
Yeah, right.
And I would like to finish eating my snack.
Okay, eat your snack then. Let's go. I opened the windows, but they all let in the heat and the cries of the cicadas. Oh.
It's
First
too
one's
hot?
KG.
It's too hot.
It really is. It was break time between classes, but we couldn't really get any rest. Mian and I leaned on our desks, exhausted by the heat. The younger kids sure are tough, considering how the heat wasn't bothering them at all. They were running around the classroom despite the temperature. Do schools in the cities have air conditioning in their classrooms?
No, they don't. The teacher's office gets to have air conditioning. Okay. Is Japan that hot? Or is everybody in, like, every bit of Japanese media I've seen just a whip? Like, how hot does Japan actually get?
It gets really hot and humid in the summer. It gets
humidity is a bitch.
90s to 100 plus humidity.
Yeah, it's an island.
Okay.
It's really hot there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
Oh, so it's okay.
Wow. That's better than nothing. If I were a student at a school like that, I'd attack the teachers and take over their office.
That's how you get expelled. You'd be the first student ever to do that.
I'll be right back, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
Nice.
I didn't even have the energy to laugh. Mian and I stopped talking and used our notebooks to fan ourselves. I looked at the empty seat nearby. It was Rena's. Rena didn't come to school today. She called and told Chie-sensei that she couldn't come because she's sick.
Rena seems to be feeling down these days.
Yeah. She probably got tired from the heat.
Do you really think that's the reason?
Yeah, why?
I think it's the incident.
Maybe. It's probably both that and the summer heat. I can't even imagine how distressing it was for her to commit a murder, dismember the bodies, and get caught by our friends. We took each other's hands at that place, and we united. All of us believed that we had closed the case there and had regained our peace. But was that as easy for Rena as it was for us? She must have not quite recovered yet. This old man thought she'd get over it if she played along with us. But I guess her pain ran deeper than I thought.
What should we do? Cheer up.
It's best just to leave her alone, I think.
Hey, are you sure about that? We're her friends, you know?
Well, it's like homesickness, you know? You get lonely and you want to call home just to hear your mom's voice. But that actually makes your homesickness worse.
Oh, we're getting into homesickness here now, too.
Don't freeze on me. Why are you freezing on me?
No.
No. Game, no. Game, no. Game,
Higurashi,
why?
bitch.
Is it my computer? Why is my computer freezing? Motherfucker. Hold on. Shit. Is all my shit just breaking? Can you
Okay, I'm
at
trying to
least hear me?
verify that. Yeah, I can
That's
hear you.
weird.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Why is all my shit... what the fuck? I can't even get to the task manager. What?
Oh.
What the fuck?
You might just have to reboot.
Oh, wait, there we go. Wait, it cut off.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, fuck, thank God.
I
Okay.
thought it was just
I don't know
some
what the hell
weird,
that
like,
was. That was
I
weird.
thought it was... I didn't get that it was, like, actually frozen for a second. So I thought it was just some weird shit where the game was having Mion just, like, wink at the player for a bit.
Yeah,
I
was really weird.
confused
Okay.
over why it was going on so long.
I'm just glad you could still hear me because that meant that like something was still working. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I could hear the like, Higurashi still screaming from the game.
Yeah. Okay, good. When you're feeling lonely, the best thing to do is to devote yourself to sports or something like that for a change.
I want her to do club activities with us, but she doesn't want to.
I don't know about her, but people usually have a desire to depend on somebody. You want to depend on somebody who supports you and sympathizes with you. Haven't you ever experienced that feeling? When you can't stop depending on somebody when they try to cheer you up?
Well, I don't know.
Completely depending on someone means trying to earn even deeper sympathy from them. At that point, even though you're trying to comfort them, they just slip further and further into depression. By finding initial success through relying on someone and receiving comfort, they grow addicted to indulging in misfortune. I think Rena knows that, too. And that's why she wants to be alone right now. If she wanted to depend on us or get comfort from us, all she'd have to do is stay with us and cry all the time.
So how can we cheer her up?
I think she'd appreciate it more if you tried to help her forget her pain than if you tried to cheer her up.
Don't comfort her and don't cheer her up. There's nothing I can do, is there?
That's a golden rule for psychologists, did you know? Mental trauma can only be healed by the person who has it. If someone else helps a person out of their mental trauma, even if they succeeded, that person wouldn't be completely healed. So all we can do now is wait for Rena to heal on her own.
I understand the idea, but I just don't like how cold it sounds.
I clasped my hands behind my back and my head, looking at the ceiling. Mion laughed. Rena will be fine as long as she has someone like you to worry about her. I'm sure she can pull herself together.
So all I need to do is be close to her? I don't know about that.
Kayla back? No, I guess not.
Nope.
There is something you can do, Keiichi. Rika-chan spoke up. I wonder how long she'd been listening to our conversation.
What is it?
You can listen to her when she wants to talk to somebody.
Is that all? I just listen and I don't need to make her feel better?
Kei-chan, people feel better just by talking to somebody. Sometimes all they need is someone who does nothing but listen quietly. Just like me said, I think it's important for us, as her friends, to be there for her whenever she wants to talk to somebody.
Are they talking about Rana?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mion and Rika-chan were absolutely right. I was going to pat Rena on the shoulder and tell her to cheer up when I saw her next, but now I know that would have been one-sided on my part. Rena doesn't want to feel down herself. She wants to cheer up if at all possible. If I cheered her up irresponsibly, she'd be very disappointed because she'd think that I didn't understand her pain.
You're right. I guess I wasn't even trying to understand how she felt. I wanted to cheer her up, but now I know that's just what I want to do, not what she wants me to do. Thanks, you two. I think I finally understand.
On that day, I thought I cheered her up, but I started to doubt if I had reached her heart. I might have just been dragging her someplace where I wanted her to go. I wasn't on her side in the real sense of the term. All of a sudden, Rika-chan patted my head.
Don't worry. We all know that you're on her side.
What? What? Did I say something aloud again?
It did reach her heart. Kei-chan, you really did give her great strength on that day. Well, now that I think about it, what you said on that day was more than a little theatrical. We heard footsteps from the hallway and everybody started to head back to their desks. Take your seats, everyone. President, if you would. All rise. We didn't have a club meeting that day because Rena wasn't around. That worked out for me because I had an errand to run. It wasn't a big errand. My mom wanted me to use her point card to get some detergent. I didn't see the point of going all the way to go to the store just to get detergent, but my mom told me to go because she's busy helping my dad with his work. I started walking towards the shopping center. Wait, helping her dad with his work? Is she like posing for him or something?
Fucking maybe.
Go out and get detergent. I gotta help your father with something.
Business side.
Wow.
Maybe she's a bookkeeper or something. We don't know.
Maybe. I started walking towards the shopping center. I noticed someone was watching me, hiding behind a distant tree. I wonder who would do such a mischievous thing. I stared at them to find out who it was, at which point they emerged.
It's Rena. Oh, Rena. Oh, I'm so good at games.
Are you feeling better now? I was about to say that, but I swallowed the words. Somehow Rena looked very serious.
What's going on?
Fish.
Rena put her index finger to her lips and told me to be quiet, looked around carefully, and beckoned for me to come over. I had no idea what was going on, but I followed her instructions, shut my mouth, and ran to her.
That's always gone well at every single timeline.
Rena gestured for me to squat down and hide in the shadow of the bush. I didn't know why I had to do that, but I could ask her the question later. I just followed her orders for now. Rena looked like she was making sure no one was following her. If it was Mion, she'd do something like that just to fool me as a joke, but I know Rena doesn't do things like this for fun. I had no idea what kind of situation I'd gotten myself into, but I could feel how tense it was, and I made myself as small as I could.
Good. It's okay now. I'm sorry.
I don't like that face for what's going on right now.
The tone of her voice made me relax a little.
Ooh. What's going on?
I think somebody's been following me.
What?
Who would follow her? When I thought about it, I realized how stupid the question was.
Is it the police?
Rina Mamiya and Tepe Hojo. 2 people disappeared. Even though they were awful human beings, the police had to investigate if they found out they'd gone missing. It probably wouldn't be difficult to find out that Rina had often been to Rena's house. But it should be okay. As long as they don't find those bags, it should be okay.
I don't know if it's the police or not, but I feel like someone has been watching me since the night of Watanagashi.
What do you mean?
Once I asked that question, Rena stared directly at me with a blank expression. Her eyes looked as though they were evaluating me. She stared at me as if she was assessing whether I was worth talking to about something very important. Rena squeezed her own wrists tightly, then started talking in a whisper.
I can't tell you what's going on, but can you keep it a secret?
I can tell you.
Nope, I can. JK.
Yeah, of course I can. If you want me to keep it secret, I won't tell anybody.
Okay. I trust you.
She smiled and looked around one more time.
They might be looking for Creepy-san scrapbooks.
Creepy-san? Oh, the nurse girlfriend-san? What about her scrapbooks?
The police are keeping the investigation under wraps, so I'm sure you don't know. Creepy girlfriend's son was murdered.
What? What? When?
She told me to be quiet again. I lowered my voice and let her continue.
On the night of Tanagashi, we met Creepy-san and Hot Photographer's son, didn't we? They were attacked right after that. A photographer's son was cursed by Oyashirozama. He cut out his throat and died. Creepy-san was burned to death in the mountains of the Gifu prefecture.
Is that true? I mean, nobody told me about that.
I know. That's because the police haven't disclosed their investigation. These cases make the fifth of the series of mysterious deaths, so the police have decided not to go public yet.
I see. I understand why the police are keeping quiet about it. But then, where did you hear this?
Can you keep it a secret? I've been in contact with ACAB-san. He's a detective from the Okonomiya Police Department. He told me about the case. Because, I'm only like a 14-year-old girl.
Why did he tell you? I mean, I know you're a 14-year-old girl, the most trustworthy of all people, but...
I don't know. But he said he told me because he could trust me, a 14-year-old girl.
I was dumbfounded to hear all. I was dumbfounded to hear all this from a 14-year-old girl.
He saw your red hair, so he knows you're an anime protagonist. That makes you trustworthy.
Exactly. Japanese girl with red hair. But I knew she wasn't lying. If it was me on it, she'd be sticking her tongue out by now. But Rena wouldn't make a joke out of something like this.
I think the reason why Creepy-san was murdered is because of her research. Do you know that she was doing an ethnological research by studying the history of this village? Why do you know that word?
Ethnological.
She may have just read it in the books.
Yeah, probably.
I've heard something along those lines.
Girlfriend's son was interested in the occult and mysterious things. I remembered Mion once told me that she was studying the village's legends of man-eating demons out of curiosity.
I think she discovered a very important secret about this village through her studies. Or maybe she wasn't even close to the truth, but they thought she was.
Wait a second. What's the secret of this village you're talking about?
I just read a few of her scrapbooks, but those were the ones that she was handling with extra caution. So I think there were pretty important things written in them. I think I know about 80% of what Creepy-san was trying to uncover through only a few scrapbooks. But if it's true, it's almost too crazy to believe. Right now, I'm trying to find out whether Creepy-san's theory is right or not.
So, what is it? What is the secret of this village? What could be so important that you might get killed just by knowing about it?
And let me know immediately so I can immediately get killed just for knowing about it.
I gasped the moment those words left my mouth. If Rena told me, I might get killed too!
I don't want to tell you yet, but I promise I will once I verify things. Because it's really crazy. Too crazy to be true.
What do you mean you have to verify things? You're an anime protagonist. You have to rush into things without thinking.
Well, for example, I myself serve as a verification that the maggot disease can occur without any background knowledge. I know exactly that you do know what a maggot disease is, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of other things that I still need to verify. They sound too crazy, like maggot disease, to be true. And I can hardly believe them if I don't verify what they are.
Maggots. I was totally lost now, and I wanted to ask her some questions, but I decided not to cut in. It was so hot outside. But Rena held her arms as if she was cold.
Anna, I'm always on your side. You can trust me.
I mean, I literally hid a dead body for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
True.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
From her expression alone, I could tell that she really meant it. I could also tell that she was involved in something very big, and that she felt lonely because she couldn't tell anybody else about it. I had to be on her side while she was going through a difficult time.
You shouldn't tell anybody that you met me here today. They might try to hurt you if they found out.
Okay. Isn't there anything I can do to help?
No, right now. But it's very reassuring that I can ask you for help when I need it. I'll depend on you someday.
Yeah. Anytime.
What was that?
Shh. The car's coming.
Rena pushed my head into the bush. I went along with it and crouched down even lower in the bushes. We stayed quiet for a while. I could hear a car coming closer, and after a while, a white van passed by.
Of course, a white van.
I was surprised to see the 4chan party van, and I was surprised at her hearing. She heard the car coming when it was still far off in the distance.
Did you see his license plate number?
What? No, I'm sorry. I didn't.
I couldn't either, but I think it's the same car I saw earlier.
Are they the ones following you?
I think so. It passed me many times today on the street, where nobody usually drives. It's probably ACAB's on.
A
I hit it
cab.
every time, but it's strange. Yeah, I really have a feeling it's ACAB.
Yeah. Are they the ones? Are they the ones who killed Girlfriend-san and Hot-san? Are they looking for the scrapbooks you have?
Most likely, yes.
I don't blame her for not being able to believe what's going on, because this is really crazy.
You don't know anything, dude.
Girlfriend-san uncovered something really significant through her studies. The people who want that information hidden found out about it, and they killed her on the night of Watanagashi, copying the Curse of Oyashirozama. They're looking for the scrapbooks, the fruits of her research, and Rena has them. That's why they're trying to kill Rena?
What about your house?
It's safe there. I hid the scrapbooks in my secret hideout at the garbage dump. I'm worried about my father, but he'll be fine because he doesn't really know anything, ever. It's written on your face, Keiji-kun. It says, I can't believe it, because it sounds too crazy to be true. Am I right?
I wanted to deny it, but I felt bad to lie. I remained silent in the affirmative.
Well, that's a normal reaction. I couldn't believe any of it when I read the first scrapbook. I finally started seeing the connections after reading all of them.
I'm sorry. I do want to help you, but I just don't know how if I don't see the whole picture of what's going on.
If I tell you, it might put you in danger. Like I totally
I
have
hit
it
a
already.
body for you.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Kichi hit a body for
Keiichi
you.
is ride or die for you, Rena. Come on.
Yeah, I don't understand her thinking here, but that's,
Like literally all
This
your
is a
friends
fine-
helped you dispose of the pieces of the two people you murdered. Not the people you murdered, the pieces of the people you murdered.
Yeah. You're already in danger, right? I don't mind. Don't worry about me.
Okay, I'll tell you then. It's simple. It's probably the three families who killed Creepy Sun and Hot Sun. To be more specific, it's the Sunzaki family. Michan's family.
Why?
Is this new music?
I think so.
Huh, it's very quiet for me, so I don't know.
You know about the series Mysterious Deaths, right?
Of course, the traders of the dam conflict die every year, right?
Sad part is we learned from other ones that's not the Sonozaki family. Or most probably isn't.
The series Mysterious Deaths is like a resolution of the dam conflict. They're trying to end the dam conflict in the true sense of the term by erasing people who betrayed the village.
It does look like that in a way. Nobody really says it out loud, but everybody is suspicious that the Sonozaki family is behind it. That's what I've heard.
If they really wanted to erase the traitors, they wouldn't have to do it on the night of Tanagashi. Why don't they kill them all at once instead of killing them one by one, using the curse and demon them away every year? Wouldn't that make more sense?
I've never heard the words demoning away before, but Rena clearly thought they have some kind of creepy, significant meaning, so I decided not to cut in. As if the first question arc was not called Demoning Away arc.
That means that they're using the series Mysterious Deaths in order to resurrect the sacredness of the Tanagashi festival. Step by step, they're reviving the sacred nature of the Onogufuchi that was lost in the Meiji area. The goal is to revive the level of belief in Oyashirozama that used to believe in the primitive times.
Zeist.
Belief in Oyashirozama. Are you talking about the Furude Shrine?
Yes. Do you think people revere the Furude Shrine now? A lot of people respect the shrine, but that's it. Kids think of it as a place to play, and most of the villagers think of it as a place to gather for local events. Its sacredness has been lost. But with the dam conflict, it started to revive, and they took it as a good opportunity to bring back the cult of Oyashirozama.
So you're saying that some fanatical Oyashirozama worshippers are behind all this?
That's what I'm saying. The cult of Oyashirozama was managed by the three families to begin with. The three families passed down the ultimate goal of reviving the cult of Oyashirozama down to the present generation. When you think about it, you'll understand why the three families took the initiative in uniting the villagers during the dam conflict, and why they set up the Onogufuchi Guardian's office in the Furude Shrine, citing Oyashirozama, who was almost forgotten at the time.
So the three families, the fanatical Oyashirozama worshippers, orchestrated the series of the mysterious deaths of Hinamizawa. But wait, why would they kill Creepy-san?
Because she discovered the important secret of this village. The three families have been hiding it since the era of Onogufuchi. If that secret is revealed, the sacredness of Oyashirozama will be lost. They found out that Creepy-san was getting close to the secret, and that's why they killed her.
What's this important secret? I don't care if I put myself in danger. I need to know.
I don't want to tell you yet. I don't want to tell you until I'm 100% sure about it. I'm pretty sure that right now you'd just laugh.
Hey, do you think I'm that kind of guy?
Yes. I just need a little more time. I can't accept the truth myself because it sounds so impossible. So, I need some time. Please.
I understand.
Don't tell anybody about what we talked about today. Not even Mi-chan, Rika-chan, or Satoko-chan. Well, you should go now. I'll take a look around for a while before I go home. I can't be too careful anymore.
Rena ducked low in the bushes and moved away. I was left alone there. The cries of the cicadas surrounded around me. Surrounded around me? Making it seem as if I was alone there the whole time. I started walking, still dumbfounded. In the end, Rena didn't tell me the secret because she was afraid of putting me in danger. But she told me clearly that there are people who want to resurrect the cult of Oyashirozama, and that they're among the three families that control the entire village. They orchestrated the series of mysterious deaths for that purpose, and they've killed Creepy-san because she got too close to the secret they wanted to hide. Rena met Creepy-san and happened to obtain the scrapbooks in which Creepy-san wrote about her research. Rena still can't believe the secret written in the scrapbooks because it's just too crazy. Hey, come on, Rena. You're kidding me, right? It's like one of those comic book stories. A mysterious occult group is plotting a conspiracy? I mean, it's not funny even if it's a joke. But Rena is right about one thing. Even if this is true, it's really hard to believe. I understand why Rena wanted to wait to tell me the secret. Maybe she was just fooled by Creepy-san. But Creepy-san was murdered for real. So is it also true that someone is following Rena, looking for the scrapbooks? I remember. Rena said that a white van was following her. You can see white vans anywhere. I bet there are a lot in this village alone. She might just be oversensitive to everything right now. Rena hasn't recovered from the shock since that day. That's probably why she got the idea into her head that the police or someone else is coming after her. I didn't cut in while she was talking. I think I did the right thing. If I had said that it was ridiculous or something to her face, Rena wouldn't have trusted me ever again. True.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, however, I gasped. A white van was parked on the side of the street. I wasn't sure if this was the same car that passed by earlier, since I didn't see the plate number. But the number of people in the car and the ambience of it was similar to the one earlier. And there's other thing that looks suspicious about it. There was no reason to park here. It was on a small road in the middle of the woods. There's nothing around here. No traffic lights, no vending machines, and no public phones. I probably wouldn't notice it under ordinary circumstances, but I felt something was wrong. And once I noticed how odd it was definitely suspicious. There were 4 men in work uniforms in the white van. The driver was smoking a cigarette, but the other men were just sitting there doing nothing. If they wanted to take a break or have a smoke, they could have chosen a better place than here. It was possible that they stopped because they had to go to the bathroom really badly, but it didn't seem that way either. They didn't look as comfortable or relaxed as they would if they were taking a break. They looked like they were waiting for something to happen. There was a deep tension in that car. Could they possibly be waiting for Rena? No way. I didn't see anybody walking around here. This road is a back road. Nobody really uses this road, let alone by car. But it's impossible. I felt bad for Rena to even think about it, but this must be something that she got into her head because she's feeling victimized or something. She must be imagining things because she's still nervous from when her friends caught her in the act of killing Rina and Tepe.
Hey, young man.
I heard someone say that when I passed by the van. He couldn't mean me. He didn't even know who I was. So I assumed he was talking to one of the other people in the car. I pretended I didn't hear him. I kept walking by. And then he said it again, and honked the horn as well.
Hey, young man, excuse me. Are you on your way home from school?
He had a strong accent similar to that of the older villagers. He must live here, but I didn't know him. I could tell that he didn't know me either because he didn't call me by name.
Yes, I am.
You've been walking on this road for all the way from school, right? You turned the corner where the stationery store is, right?
Yes. So?
They were probably lost, I thought. This village has many small turns, and you can easily get lost when you try to take a shortcut. So they must have been waiting for someone to ask for directions. But then he said something disturbing.
Young man, didn't you see a girl on the way here?
What?
A girl with a white hat and white clothes? with the purple ribbon on it. Did you see her?
They were definitely talking about Rena.
Maybe she's like making something up. Nope.
Nope.
No, I didn't.
I wasn't ready to hear them ask that. Rather, I was scared. That's why my voice got all shaky. Up until that point, I couldn't believe Rena's story. I thought it was ridiculous. I actually laughed, if only to myself. That's why I wasn't ready at all. My heart was beating fast and I was sweating all over. I immediately answered. No, I didn't, but it might have sounded like an obvious lie. The driver stared into my eyes. He looked like he was trying to figure out if I was lying or not, and my legs started to shake. I felt like a frog under the glare of a snake, and I couldn't move a muscle for a while. But I think the same went for those men, too. They were clearly a suspicious group, and they had just asked a villager about a girl out of the blue. Anybody would get suspicious. And I was right. The man broke the ice and started making excuses before I even asked him why he wanted to know about the girl.
Well, I was asking for no particular reason. We just passed by a girl earlier, but you're a boy, so we were just wondering.
Oh my god, they're bad at this.
They're
Shitty-ass
extremely
charismo creepos. Their charisma's so low.
He turns into villain.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
Really, KG? That's what you get?
we're just really curious whether
Look.
people in Japan just transform genders randomly. So, were you a girl earlier?
Are you a magical girl that instead of just transforming into magical powers, you just transform genders?
You also
I've seen that
changed
I've heard
your
of that anime.
clothes very quickly.
I've heard of that anime.
Please forget it. Sorry for the trouble, young man. We're off.
Man started the
Young
engine
man.
and drove away.
We're off in our creep car. I said, young man.
4chan party van. After they left, I saw nothing.
It really just puts me in mind of the YMCA song. I'm sorry.
That's right, nothing. There was no reason why they had to park here. So, were they really waiting for Rena?
No.
Ooh.
Dun dun dun!
Spooky, spooky.
Spooky!
Books. Oh, lunch takeout list 2.
Achievement unlocked mystery machine. No, it's the 4chan party van. They should have named it that.
Oh my god.
Alright, what's our twist for this?
Furthermore, it's important that we closely monitor her father. Since he has also suffered mental shock from the divorce and has been trying hard to take care of the patient, there's a strong possibility that he may develop an induced delusional disorder. As the first step of mental care, one should listen to the patient's story carefully without denying it. That's the most basic of basics. However, when the patient and the listener are related, it's easy for the listener to become deeply influenced by the patient's delusions. Additionally, delusional parasitosis is widely known to make people highly impressionable, and the influence sometimes can spread throughout the whole community.
Oh.
Therefore, even if several people claim to acquire a parasitic infection, it doesn't necessarily prove the existence of a parasite. Some of the phone calls to the healthcare centers for the extermination of pests are nothing but a mass delusion. Since the subject matter of the delusion in this case is extremely rabid, the patients might harm or even kill each other in abnormal ways, believing this to be the treatment for the disease. They might also give up hope and commit suicide together, in the worst case. This influential delusional disorder, otherwise known as shared psychotic disorder, shows a particularly strong possibility of influencing close companions. Anyone who is going to contact the patients must be made to understand that the patients are under medical treatment and must be warned not to be influenced by the patient's delusions. Individuals who are likely to be easily influenced are the patient's family members and people who deeply care about the patient, such as boyfriends or girlfriends. Bwah.
Wait, where's the takeout order? What?
On the back of the same thing, I guess. Huh. Save. How are you doing, Kayla?
I'm okay. We can try for another one.
Okay. Want to make
At
sure.
least half.
Cool. Load. Continue. Let's fucking go, chapter 9.
Let's fucking go! I should apologize, Rena. I don't think I believed you. I'm really sorry about that.
It's okay, Keiichi-kun. I'm just glad we didn't get caught.
Who are they? Are they pawns of these religious fanatics who are trying to revive the cult of Oyashirozama? Like, okay, is that Tipkin trying to imply to us that
Keiichi's getting under the influence of Rana, and so is taking
Yeah.
over her delusion?
Yeah.
I think so. That's what the tip is saying, maybe.
Are the time loops just gonna be all a delusion or something as well?
Oh my god.
I would be extremely disappointed if that were the case.
That would be so lame. That would be so lame.
Do you think that I would share this game with you if it was a lame shit?
That's true.
No, that's true, but
It's true.
that seems to be the direction we're going in right now.
Yeah. I think they don't realize that they're pawns, but I'm sure the masterminds are using them as such. They must be the ones who have been pulling strings behind the scenes ever since the damn conflict.
I heard that people working for the Sonozaki family did something similar during the damn conflict itself.
Yes, everybody knows that. San told me that. There was a kidnapping incident during the damn conflict. The case hadn't been disclosed to the public, but anyway, someone kidnapped the grandson of the Minister of Construction. Of course, the minister is promising to put a halt to the damn construction.
Oh yeah, we saw this.
Mm-hmm.
The grandson of the minister was kidnapped? Hey, I've never heard about that before.
The minister submitted to their demands, and they made a deal behind the scenes. That's why the incident never went public. Akab's son only knows about it because he was in charge of the case, and of course is going to share this information with a 14-year-old girl.
14-year-old girl.
14-year-old anime protag! That's clearly Rena's role in this arc is anime protag.
14-year-old parasitically infected girl.
Probably parasitically infected.
Ugh.
Okay, and...
He shared it to you, why? According to Akab-san, between kidnapping the minister's grandson and blackmailing him, their tactics was frighteningly advanced. The police know that the Sonozaki family gave orders to the kidnappers, but the case still remains unsolved. At the time, the head of the Sonozaki family, Oryo, had announced a plan to fight against the damn project by force. So he formed a special attack corps, using the Yakuza group that's under the Sonozaki family's command.
Oh, damn.
She was very serious about this plan to put the Ministry of Construction down by brute force if she couldn't stop the construction.
Everybody knows that the Sonozaki family had tried to stop the dam project, even if it meant breaking the law. So I wasn't so surprised to hear that she had a dangerous plan like that. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Mion who came up with the idea. The plan sounded just like her.
In the end, the plan ended up nothing more than that. But the Special Attack Corps actually did go undergo training, and very high-level training at that.
Akab had uncovered the information right after the dam conflict ended. At the time, Oryo even said that the village was going to be submerged. All members of the Onagafuchi Guardians would choose to stay in their houses and drown. So because Oryo was behind those things, I couldn't just laugh off the idea of an armed assault on the Ministry of Construction. According to the information Akab seized, she planned a suicide mission as a last resort when the dam conflict started to heat up, in case the resistance wasn't successful. She had actually obtained weapons and put people through training for the sake of that plan. The Special Attack Corps was flown to America, having received a huge amount of money from Oryo for the operation. In the southern desert of the United States, some retired military soldiers gave them highly professional training. Holy shit.
Wow.
Well, the plan was never carried out. The Special Attack Corps became a death squad under the direct control of Oryo after they came back from America. They were involved in many unsolved terrorist incidents, and they succeeded in kidnapping the grandson of the minister as well.
Holy shit.
What the fuck?
They basically sent them to America to train with a militia.
God damn. Leave it to Americans to fuck shit up.
I mean, you're not wrong there.
It sounds like it's from a movie or something.
Do you remember how Michan said that she could do anything from flying helicopters to using wireless radios? It's actually all true. It seems like Michan joined their training.
Holy shit.
She was 9!
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
10, but
10, close enough.
Whatever, close enough. So that was all true?
Well, let's put that aside for now.
No, let's not put aside how they...
oh god.
Oh my god. Anyway, you have to at least believe that the Death Squad actually exists in Hinamizawa. And that they're capable of kidnapping the grandson of a government minister.
I didn't take a close look at the 4 men in the white van today, but thinking about it, they did look professional in a way.
No, they
Those
didn't.
bitches are professionally
No, they're
trained
shit.
killers? Are you shitting all over my dick?
You know what, they were just be taking a break, but I could tell they were tense the whole time. Well, yeah, because they're shit at their jobs.
There's no way that was professional.
So, are they really trying to kill you? I don't know, they might just be really bad at it.
There's no way they're part of that Death Squad. No way. I don't think so. If they really wanted to kill me, I'll be dead already.
So, what do they want? Are they after Creepy-san's scrapbooks?
Like you saw yourself, the group is very cautious. Unless we show them an opening, they won't resort to force. If they were the type to use force outright, they would attack me in my sleep. Are they on the phone right now? Is that how they're talking?
I think so.
And they just went over how Mio knows how to use radios and a bunch of stuff. This totally could be bugged.
They haven't done that yet, so that must mean they're taking it cautiously. Yeah, but we know the Sonozaki. We're pretty sure, at least, that the Sonozakis aren't behind it. So who the fuck is gonna be bugging shit?
That's true. They're probably not sure that I have the scrapbooks. They killed Creepy-san and tried to dispose of them, but they found out that the most important ones were missing. They thought she gave them to someone because she knew her life was in danger. Now they think I'm the one who has them. But they're not sure, so they can't resort to violence.
Rena, it sounds like you're playing a dangerous game.
The most dangerous game.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm a bit scared, but they won't be able to erase me so easily. After all, I'm cooperating with ACAB-san. I've been frequently contacting him in case something happens.
What did he say about them?
He said he'd keep an eye on the Sonozaki family so that he could catch them right away, if they're working behind the scenes.
Did you tell him about the scrapbooks?
No.
I think he should. He's an officer. I'm sure the police will help you.
Keiichi-kun, I can't even tell you the secrets of this village because I'm not sure you would believe me. I don't think ACAB-san would believe me if I told him any of this.
Rena, let's not make it more confusing than it already is. Just tell me. What is it? What's written in the notebooks? In the scrapbooks? What's the secret that killed Creepy-san?
Simply put, if the things written in the scrapbooks are true, the god they worship will be dethroned.
Oh, it's time!
Oh my god.
Time to attack and dethrone God.
Let's go!
Dethroned?
Yes. The Saint. Oh my god.
Sanctity.
Sanctity. Don't know why I couldn't say the words fine. The sanctity of Oyashirozama will be lost. That's why they want to conceal the truth. They want to protect people's belief in Oyashirozama.
Right. Can you explain it more simply than that? I'm confused and very dumb.
In other words, Oyashirozama isn't a god.
He isn't?
I had no idea what she read that made her so certain, but whatever it was, it'd be sacrilegious for people who believe so strongly in Oyashirozama. Sacrilegious, you mean? Ay.
There are many teachings of Oyashirozama, but the essence is as follows. Don't leave the village, and don't let anybody into the village. One could even say the rest of his teachings were developed to maintain those two fundamentals. It really wasn't until later on that they added aspects like love your neighbor, or view him as a god of marriage and domestic prosperity.
I'm sorry, Oyashiro-sama teaches people to love their neighbor? What?
Really?
Like the whole, we're looking out for everybody, where they all gang up when someone's in trouble.
To the community.
I guess.
They're like extreme community protection. In other words, Oyashiro-sama existed solely to stop the villagers from going outside the village. Oyashiro-sama doesn't bless the villagers or protect them from disasters. The people believe that Oyashiro-sama does all that for them, but the truth is that the people abused his name for that purpose, generation after generation, and nothing more than that. Why did Oyashiro-sama descend in the first place? Because demons came out of Onigifuchi's swamp and attacked people.
In fact, that was the wrong interpretation. Demons didn't come out of the swamp and attack people. People became demons and attacked others when they were possessed by whatever came out of the swamp.
Whatever came out of the swamp. What do you mean by that?
Whatever came out of the swamp possessed people, crawled into their blood, controlled them, and turned them into demons. People had no resistance against whatever it was that came out of the swamp. They became demons, attacked the other villagers, and turned them into demons as well. That's right. It was a weird infectious disease that broke out from the swamp. It made the infected people go out of control. The villagers saw this disaster and explained it like so. Evil demons came out from the bottom of the swamp, possessed people, and turned them into demons as well. That is the truth of the story of the demons that came out of Onigifuchi Swamp.
Actually explains the legend. So, was Oyashiro-sama a doctor who came from a foreign land?
Yes. That's not exactly correct, but he would... Oh my god. Ivan? Wait!
That's too...
But it was some... No. No.
No, there's no way
No.
Ivan. There's no way it's Ivan. Unless there's also some immortality shit going on around the village that just nobody's mentioned yet.
Oh, hey, Zachary, good
Sorry,
to see you. How you doing?
Oh my god, because he's an outsider, right? He came here
I
to
think
go
so,
become
yeah.
a doctor.
Yep.
Or be the doctor.
Hmm.
He was something like that. He came to Onigifuchi and he treated the infectious disease. But he couldn't cure it for good.
All his treatment could do was reduce the symptoms of the infection. Villagers could have their symptoms suppressed, but there was no way to kill the parasites that had infested them. After a while, the village was divided into two groups. One group was made up of the people who were already infected, and the other consisted of the people who weren't. Without a cure for the disease, the uninfected looked down on the people who could only suppress their violent symptoms. They even talked about drowning them in the swamp. But they knew killing the infected people wouldn't solve the problem. The parasites came out of the water sources, including Onigifuchi Swamp. They couldn't fill them all in, for if they did that, they would lose their access to drinking water. They could have chosen to leave the village, but that was hard for them, for that was the location of their ancestors' graves. Under the power of Oyashiro-sama, infected people could live without showing symptoms. So both those who were infected and those who weren't decided to live together equally and to coexist with the parasite. Oyashirozama was impressed by the villagers' decision. He decided to stay there and continue to treat them.
That's the true identity of Oyashirozama, the benefactor who stayed in the village to protect the lives of both human and demon.
Oh,
wait.
other way around, yeah.
That's the true identity. Go ahead.
That's right. And Oyashirozama made rules in order to ensure the symptoms of the infected people remained suppressed. The rules were to never leave the village and never to let anybody into the village.
I understand why I didn't want to let anybody new into the village. It was to prevent the parasite from infecting anyone else. But I don't understand why he didn't want people to leave. So that the parasite can't infect anybody else.
Like, what? It seems like the parasite can only live in Hinamizawa because of the climate here. It causes an outbreak of the symptoms in order to prevent the host from leaving the village when they try. So you're saying if they all just left for like a little bit, the parasite would have died and everything would have been fine?
No, but also, there's also saying that if they left, then the parasite would cause the, attacking other people problem outside of the village.
I got it. The reaction... Oh, my bad.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Yes, there we go.
Reaction is the truth behind the Curse of Oyashirozama.
The strongest symptoms of the infectious disease were violence and delirium. The infected people acted just like demons, and the impact of seeing them in the throes of the disease was strong enough to make others describe them as such. They couldn't even let people leave who had just come to the village. If they had left after being infected, they might go crazy in a faraway land, turn into a vicious demon, and cause a disaster. Infected people were never allowed to leave. When an infected person left the village, they brought him back by any means necessary. That was what it really meant to be demoned away.
Wait, one sec.
Da-da-da.
So...
Wait a second, Rena. That means everybody in this village, including you and I, are infected. But nothing happens when we leave Hinamizawa. In fact, many villagers move far away after getting married or something. Never heard of any villagers who went crazy and turned into demons after they left Hinamizawa.
You're right. That's because things went as Oyashirozama thought they would. Do you understand? He isolated the village for a long time in order to weaken the power of the parasite.
Hosts are very important for parasites. If something happens to the host, the parasites that live in the host have to share the same fate. In other words, if the host went crazy and attacked people, the host would be captured and killed, which means that the parasites would die with the host too. Geichi.
Sorry, one sec. I have to talk to Amber for a sec.
Okay. Brain dead today?
Oh.
I feel that.
I feel that. So what this is saying, what I'm getting at, is that you know how Shion Mion Shion has a demon and becomes demonic. What they're saying is that that's a parasite because Shion Mion Shion left Hinamizawa forcibly because of her grandmother. Basically.
Potentially.
Sorry.
Turned into, a dangerous person because of it.
Remember all this talk of stress.
Yeah, parasite could be stress activated to make people go insane.
That's true. Interesting.
Yeah, sorry. Amber had very important news for me.
Hopefully it wasn't bad news. It sounds like it's good news.
No, it's hilarious news. She found this. So Amber spends a bunch of time on book TikTok, and apparently there was a version of Raylo fanfic that had been making the rounds that had just gotten published.
Oh God.
As an actual book. and Amber thought that was hilarious, and we went to go buy it today. And it's doubly funny because like the cover of it is absolutely like a piece of fan art. It's absolutely
Wow.
somebody's like university AU fan art. And the important news she had to tell me was that she had definitely actually read the fanfic before it got taken down,
Oh,
so they
God.
could publish it.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So they fucking Twilighted Raylo, okay.
Oh yeah, totally. There's a bunch of like published Raylo fanfic with the serial numbers filed off.
Holy shit. Okay then.
Raylo was very popular before Rise of Skywalker torpedoed everything.
What's Raylo?
Rey and
Shipping
Kylo
Rey
Ren
and Kylo Ren.
from Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars. Got it.
Yes, Rey Star Wars and Kylo Star Wars.
Oh, that's the new people.
Yep.
The chick and the lightsaber with the not hot dude. Right.
Oh, God.
With the not
Ouch.
hot dude, is that how you remember him?
Damn.
Yeah.
Very good.
It was so disappointing. I remember like him taking off his mask, right? Because you don't see him, and then I'm like, oh,
I'm sorry, Adam Driver.
sorry.
Adam Driver's pretty good. Yeah, he's not the ideal man or anything, but I'd take that.
Okay.
Anyhow.
Yes.
You're talking about natural selection.
Good thinking, Kichingun. That's exactly right. As a result of living in this village under such strict rules for a long time, people who were hypersensitive to the parasite went crazy and got killed. The strong parasites that made the infected people go crazy were also killed off due to the host's violent behaviors. As a result, only the parasites that acted nice to people lived on. And that's the explanation behind the mix of human and demon blood that is written in the legend of Oyashirozama.
So that means the parasite is almost harmless now.
Yes, according to Creepy-Sun's scrapbooks, there are actually many people who are infected by a harmless parasite. Depends on the local food culture. For example, about 80% of the people who live in a country where meat is staple food are infected by parasites. What? What? But because the parasites coexist with humans without them doing harm to them, nobody notices them, treats them, or tries to get rid of them. Wouldn't that mean we have parasites?
Oh, we almost certainly do.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a matter of whether or not they're actually dangerous or not.
Interesting.
Like eyelash mites and stuff like that. Not quite parasites, but
Sorry, what?
you don't know about eyelash mites?
No.
Like everybody has like.
Oh.
They live in your
Interesting.
eyelashes.
Yeah.
You know, that's horrifying. Cool.
It's kind of like some symbiotic relationship. Kind of, they eat things that try to get on your eyes.
In olden times, what Tanagashi called Harawata Nagashi, Harawata meaning guts. It says that people back then used to eat the guts of infected people who went crazy.
What?
It sounds awful, but it was something they had to do, David, okay?
What?
Oh.
Oh.
Eating the infecting people. Are you talking about a vac?
How did he connect those dots? I want to know this.
God damn,
That's
Keiichi.
not a good way. What?
Well, there have been people used to be leeched. This is way back
I
when.
guess.
But that's different. Being leeched versus eating someone's guts.
Yeah, people did stupid shit in the name of like what they thought would be a medical procedure way back when.
Yeah, I
People
guess.
were dumbass people.
Yeah.
Also, I posted the book
Yeah.
in Discord if you
Yeah.
want to see it.
I will check that out later. Oh god.
People also interpreted it just like you did. In the legend, it says people cut open and ate the infection ones alive, but it wasn't anything gross like that. They did it in a scientific way. It created a vaccine for the infected people who died from the extremely strong parasites, and that helped the uninfected villagers boost their immune system.
Who was Oyashirozama? A scientist? He must have been from a very advanced country. Was he German? Is the true identity of Oyashirozama a foreign doctor who survived a shipwreck?
I think that'd be the most likely answer. He wasn't German, but he was a doctor of some sort.
It's kind of interesting to reveal the truth behind old legends.
I don't think that Rena's story is too crazy to be true anymore. It still sounds crazy, of course, but I've never heard any theories that explain the legend of this village better than this one.
I'm infected by the parasite too, right? I feel itchy all over now.
A person is like a universe. We have countless numbers of bacteria in our bodies. Some of those bacteria are essential to us staying alive.
Oh, like bacteria in yogurt, right? I see.
It's also what Creepy-san wrote in her notebooks. You know termites, right? They eat wood, but they actually can't digest it in themselves. They have unique bacteria that decomposes the wood fiber. As a result, termites can absorb what they eat. That's just one example of species coexisting with parasites.
I didn't know that. I also didn't know that. When I hear the word parasites, I feel creeped out almost instinctively, but now I know some of them aren't so bad to us.
So the weird infectious disease that broke out from Onikafuchi Swamp has been exterminated by now. Well, I shouldn't say exterminated. I should say it's harmless now.
I thought it was just a crazy story at first, but now I feel like I just saw a trick behind some crazy kind of magic. It's interesting. Wait, was that opposite?
I think so.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, this is difficult.
It is to us, but for the cult of Oyashirozama, this must be a very annoying theory. Just as annoying as trying to discover who the fuck is talking.
Yeah, of course. If girlfriend's son theory is correct, Oyashirozama isn't a god. And the punishment by that god, namely the curse of Oyashirozama, that people have just been so afraid of, would turn out to have just been the symptoms of an infectious disease. I see. That's what dethroning God would mean. Attack and dethrone parasite God.
So if the pathogen of this infectious disease was identified and announced to the public, the power of Oyashirozama would be completely lost. Oh, switching perspective.
That's right. That's what they're afraid of.
That's
Oh,
also
it's
darker.
changed color again.
Huh. Mio-san was going to identify the pathogen, and for that she was killed.
Yeah, because she's a nurse, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that must mean she identified it.
Maybe she did, but she's gone, and she didn't say anything about that in her scrapbooks. That's the only reason I can think of, though.
But it's the end of the 20th century. I'm sure the villagers must have been examined by a lot of different medical institutions by now, right? Never heard of anybody discovering a weird parasite like that.
I know. It's true that the pathogen hadn't been found yet, but in fact there's evidence that there's some kind of parasite involved.
What? Really?
When a parasite enters the...
Oh.
Sorry. When a parasite enters the human body, that body's immune system cells, eosinophils and macrophages.
Eosinophils.
I should know this from fucking Cells at Work.
Yeah!
Eosinophils and macrophages try to kill the parasite. Yeah, right? I know, like, eosinophils.
Eosinophils are the ones who are specifically about killing parasites. Cells at Work talk
Yep.
that.
And macrophagy-san. God. Now I just picture the ladies in the maid outfits with the huge ass fucking
yeah.
like Rena with the huge ass like
Oh my god.
hell yeah. They secrete an antibody called immunoglobulin E. The most common way of checking if a person is infected by a pathogen is to look at the levels of the secretion. According to Girlfriend Son's research, people of Hinamizawa have a very high level of immunoglobulin in their blood. That's not all. They also have obvious symptoms of being infected by parasites. They don't have any allergies. Immunoglobulin stimulates mast cells, and they secrete histamines and serotonin as a result. These cause an allergic reaction. That allergic reaction isn't pleasant for humans, but it's necessary for the body to kill the pathogen. But the parasites don't want to be killed, of course, so they secrete substances that counteract immunoglobulin E. As a result, immunoglobulin E stops stimulating the receptors of the mast cells, which stop secreting the chemical compounds. As a result, the antigen-antibody reaction, namely the allergic reaction, doesn't occur. In other words, a human body that was infected by a parasite secretes a high level of IgE, but doesn't display allergic reactions.
I understand all this.
Hell yeah!
I watched Cells at Work.
Yay! I need to see the new season.
The new season is less good.
I've only seen like 5 episodes.
Aw.
You should absolutely watch the rest of the first season.
Mm-hmm.
I did not enjoy the second one
Aw.
nearly as much.
Sadness.
But, I don't know, other people may have differing opinions.
For your information, a human body that's infected by a parasite doesn't suffer from hay fever. You get hay fever due to your body secreting a large amount of IgE because it's mistaken pollen for a parasitic invasion. As a result, a large amount of stimulants like histamine will be secreted, but your body can't contain the parasite that it's attempting to kill. That's why your body continues to secrete IgE. As a result, the stimulants keep causing allergic reactions. That's how hay fever works. If you have a parasite in your body, it'll deactivate your IgE and suppress the secretion of stimulants. As a result, you don't have an allergic reaction. In other words, there's no hay fever in Hinamizawa, and you can cure your hay fever by moving here.
You cure your hay fever by moving to a place with horrible parasites in all the water.
Yes, so?
So we haven't been able to identify the pathogen, but there's no question about its existence.
Yes, that's right.
That's true. And scrapbooks are a big threat to the believers in Oyashirozama. They don't identify the pathogen, but they clearly prove its existence.
Yeah, it poses a big enough danger to them that makes them think it's worth killing Creepy-san.
Keiichi.
This really is the scary secret. I believe it because you took the time to explain it to me. If you had skipped the details and told me only the conclusion, it would have sounded too crazy to believe.
I told you, I couldn't believe it at first either, so I thought you definitely wouldn't.
So, what's important right now is that there's a dangerous organization acting in the shadows to try and cover up the truth, right?
Yes, that's the most important thing.
The fanatics who want to revive the sanctity of the god they worship. Reviving the majesty of their god means reviving the power of that god. And the power of their god is the infectious disease. This infectious disease can't spread nationwide, unlike other infectious diseases. So from now on, I'm going to start calling it an endemic disease. That fits better, since it only affects this region. Anyway, the endemic disease of current-day Hinamizawa is different from the ones of old times. It's been through a process of natural selection, and it's harmless now. In other words, it doesn't do any harm to human bodies. That harm was once interpreted as a curse. A curse is the power of a god, so harmless endemic disease means that the god is powerless. That means the only way to regain the majesty of the god is to revive the curse. In other words, they want to bring back the primitive endemic disease, namely the harmful, strong version of the parasite.
Wait a second. These fanatics want to deny the fact that their god was actually a parasite. But you're saying that they're researching the parasite. Oh! Interesting. Okay, so if there's a harmful, stronger version of the parasite, is that what they're injecting into people? To cause them to, like, claw out their throats and shit?
Mm-hmm.
I had that thought too, but they did also say that the harmful parasite made them attack other people. And the people injected with whatever they're being injected with, they're not attacking anybody. They're just clawing out their own throat.
Yeah, maybe.
I know it is. I think that this research is a secret that only the head of the fanatics is aware of. From the outside, they look like they're praising the god, but they're trying to understand its true identity, and they're trying to revive its supernatural power with their own hands.
I get it now. Oh my god, this is getting crazier and crazier. Me, every arc we go further in this game.
I didn't say it in the scrapbooks, but I'm suspicious of the clinic that the manager owns.
The Iria Clinic? Or the Ivan Clinic? Why?
Ivan's a creep. The facility is too big and fancy for Hinamizawa. Creeper-san was working there. The manager might be a bacteriologist the Sonozaki family recruited.
Can't be.
I think Creeper-san was murdered because she knew too much. The reason why the manager hadn't been murdered yet is because he's working for the fanatics in the first place.
And he's researching the primitive form of the endemic disease. It's hard to believe that the coach we know is capable of doing things like that.
I'm sorry. He might be totally irrelevant. It's just a wild guess. But somebody's doing the research somewhere. That much is certain. And after 5 years, the research has finally been completed.
The first case was the dismemberment murder by the dam construction workers. Their quarrel had turned into a lynching. They might have had the primitive infectious disease, and the symptoms, the aggression and delirium might have kicked in. The victims of the second year were Satoko's parents. There were no witnesses, so the whole event is veiled in mystery. But there's a theory that someone might have pushed them over the cliff, since the fence of the observation deck that they fell from was quite sturdy. What if one of them was infected by the primitive parasite? He or she might have become violent and pushed the other over the cliff. The Shinto priest died from a disease, and his wife drowned herself in the third year. He might have died of shock because of a hypersensitive reaction to the infection. His wife might have gone crazy and committed suicide when one of the symptoms, delirium, kicked in. In the fourth year, Satoshi Hojo's aunt was beaten to death, probably by Satoshi himself. Everybody who knew Satoshi-kun remembers how he changed at that time. He showed signs of being both aggressive and delirious. In the fifth year, for the first time in 5 years, the victim experienced the maggot disease described in the old scroll of the Furude Shrine. The reason behind that is unclear, but the stronger primitive parasite could have given its victims a delusion of maggots. This means that they finally managed to duplicate the Curse of Oyashirozama after 5 years of research. Photographer-san is the victim of the fifth year. He died in an extremely abnormal way, and I'm the only one who understands his death because I experienced the same thing. He kept clawing at his throat to get rid of the maggots and died as a result. With all that explained, I finally understand maggot disease I experienced in Ibaraki. I left Hinamizawa, and it made the parasite in me uncomfortable. As a result, it tried to resist, even though it wasn't very strong, and it tried to make me homesick. But with my parents' divorce, I grew mentally unbalanced, and I completely lost the power to resist for a period of time. The parasite was weak and harmless, but my mental instability allowed it to worsen my symptoms dramatically. As a result, I went crazy and became violent. The delusion of Oyashiro-sama appearing to me in the bathroom was probably the terminal phase of my delirium. I created the supernatural existence, Oyashiro-sama, that I was instilled with when I was little. Then I persuaded myself to go back to Hinamizawa based on that delusion. Some of the transcendents of Onikafuchi must have had the same kind of experience. They must have passed their experiences down as the acts of a god. I remember once I saw on TV that the indigenous people in South America used some kind of natural drug in order to have a mystical experience, and that they called it a ritual to communicate with their gods.
True statement.
So, what the fanatics are trying to do is to spread the primitive parasites throughout Hinamizawa.
I think that's their goal, but I don't think they'll do that without letting people know about it. Religions need ceremonies. So if they created what they wanted to create and they decided to spread it, I think they name it the Day of Oyashiro-sama's revival or something, and they perform some kind of ceremony. It would be in celebration of the revival of Oyashiro-sama.
That's a bad thing, isn't it?
I think you can say that because they're trying to spread a very dangerous pathogen.
Hey, isn't that bioterrorism? Jeez, this is very bad. They used it on Photographer's Son, confirming that they succeeded in duplicating the Curse of Oyashirozama. So that day of revival might be really soon.
I don't know, it could happen in a few days, or it might take a year.
This is way out of your league, Rena. This is a very serious conspiracy. There's nothing we alone can do to stop them. We have to report it to the police.
Do you think that they would believe us?
It's their choice whether to believe us or not. No matter what, we have to tell them.
Ichikun, telling ACAPs about all this means telling them that I have the scrapbooks.
Do you think that'd be a problem?
ACAP's son came to me after Creepy Son was murdered. When they killed Creepy Son, they found out that her scrapbooks were missing. They also know that she met me at the library a few days ago.
No way. You mean...
Yes, ACAP's son could be one of them. It's possible that ACAP's son thinks I have the scrapbooks, and he might be trying to find out. In fact, he looked very suspicious, and he seemed to me that he didn't really tell me everything he knew. He only told me things that make me suspicious of the Sonozaki family. He could have been trying to look like he was on my side, and that he's actually their minion.
Why would he make you suspicious of the Sonozakis if he was working for them?
To gain her trust.
The police are our only hope.
Ichikun, you know about the case of the 4th year, don't you? Shoko-chan's aunt was murdered. I believe Satoshi-kun did it, but the police figured a drug addict as the
No,
murderer.
pointed a finger,
No
fingered the drug
finger.
addict.
That's the actual phrase.
Oh. Okay. What do you think about that?
Some of the fanatics are with the police. And they fabricated the murderer?
It's the same with the
Autopsy.
Yeah, thank you. Autopsy of the Shinto priest, who they claim died from a disease, and the inspection of the accident site where the Hojo couple died. The police are on their side. It opens the door to many perfect crimes. Families have been maintaining pressure on the police since the damn conflict. You've heard from Michan that they also have considerable power over many organizations in Okonomiya, right?
Yes, I have. It's not only Mion who told me that. Many people did. They told me that the Sonozaki family holds influence over the whole city.
That's right. You can't necessarily trust the police around here.
Run up, please. I want to make one thing clear before we go on. Are the Sonozaki family the masterminds behind all this? Does that mean Mion is involved too? Please tell me.
I don't know if Michan and Rika-chan are directly involved or not. All I can say for sure is that the fanatics have the power to control the nerve centers of all 3 families, including the most powerful family of all, the Sonozakis. I'm not sure if the fanatics are controlling the 3 families, or if the 3 families are the fanatics themselves.
As long as we're not sure about their involvement, it's better for us to be extra careful around them. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I'm not saying I don't trust Michan. She's usually very reliable, and I asked her for help with any problem, but not this one. This one is a little different. I don't know if you've seen it before, but although Michan jokes around when she's with us, she can be a very cold person when she's acting as the successor of the Sonozaki family. Plus, even if she wasn't involved, we would put her in danger if we told her about this. You know, as if you didn't already put her in danger with having her bury a dead body.
Yeah.
What details?
She was on our side. That'd be really encouraging. I think we should tell her.
No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't tell her until we confirm she's not one of them. Sure, it'd be great if we could pull her to our side, but what if we couldn't?
So, how are we going to fight against them?
Well, this is a battle we don't stand a chance of winning to begin with. That's why I didn't want to get you involved.
Damn it. Creepy-san left us a big parting gift, didn't she?
But because of that, we know about the conspiracy. I think this is her will.
2 kids challenging the mastermind who controls the village. This is gonna be tough. Ordinary methods won't work.
But, Keiichi-kun, I'm glad to have you on my side. We can talk about it and plan things together.
This is super anime.
Yeah, right?
2 kids challenging the mastermind of the whole village.
Let's go.
Bioterrorism. Horrible deaths.
Parasites.
I control people.
Gagey.
Of course, I've always been on your side, and I'm your friend.
I know. Thank you. You're very reassuring. You know, now that I've spread my delusion to you.
2 heads are better than 1.
Yeah, I agree. We can come up with a plan for how we're going to fight against them together. I skipped school today because I wanted some time to read the scrapbooks again, but school again tomorrow and I'm going to act normal. They might sense something's wrong with me if I act different. You should do the same, Keiichi-kun. Please be very careful, Misha. She's sometimes very perceptive.
Oh, God. Keiichi is like those guys in the van. He's terrible at this.
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about? He's gonna be fine. He's gonna act perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll act normal, as if I know nothing. Shouldn't be too hard for you. But damn! I'm a bit scared. A huge conspiracy is right around the corner, and it might already be counting down to 0. It's hard to act normal knowing that.
I don't think it's gonna happen very soon. Like I said earlier, if they really are religious fanatics, they need a religious ceremony. They need the help of the whole village to hold something like that. I can't think of any event other than Watanagashi.
So, you're saying that we have time at least until the next Watanagashi festival?
I can't promise, but I just can't think of any other event than that.
Oh god, this is giving me anime vibes.
Right.
Like a 2-season anime where they have like side episodes with all the yearly events. Like there's a Christmas episode and a beach episode.
Yeah.
They spend the rest of the time like going on adventures trying to overthrow the conspiracy.
I think we have a year at least, but I also feel like we don't because of how they killed Mia, killed Creepy-san. I might not know, but there might be a bigger religious event than Watanagashi. It might not be long until that day. On the day of Oyashirozama's revival, they're going to spread a dangerous parasite, and that day might just be around the corner. Dad.
Miranda, you're still on the phone. Wrap it up soon. It's getting late.
My father stuck his head out from the living room, telling me I need to hang up soon. I thought about telling him so many times. It's natural to think that your parents will be on your side no matter what. But I know just how weak he can get, so I couldn't tell him. Yep, not telling your dad. That's totally anime.
Right. That's an anime move.
I don't think he believed me
He
anyway.
didn't hear a word of that entire conversation.
Right? Even if I told him, he'd just tell me to call the police. It's better that I don't tell him. They might get close to my father to get to me. And if he didn't know anything about anything, including the scrapbooks, there'd be nothing to squeeze out of him to begin with.
Except for the money. I'm sorry, Keiichi-kun. I have to go now. It's getting late. I'll see you at school.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Be careful, okay? You're not an outsider anymore. Wait,
Yeah,
how is she not an outsider?
I'll be careful.
You literally just moved here less than a year ago.
I think outsider of the information, I think. I remembered the suspicious men in the white van, and I felt a chill run through my spine. They looked like villagers, but they weren't. They had the village accent, but they were just pretending. The more I thought about it, the more suspicious they became. It let me know that Rena and I aren't safe. If Rena is right, they're just suspicious of her, and they're not sure if she has a scrapbook or not. But it's still creepy. Rena had probably experienced the same creepiness I felt when I saw the van several times up until now. She must sense the danger more than I do. However, the fact that they weren't attacking, that they were merely observing us, was disturbing. If they attacked her, she could have done something, like going to the police. But all they're doing is just watching her from a distance. She can't do anything about it. She can't talk to anybody about it. She probably just wants to stay in her house all day. But if he acted different, they might take it as proof that she has the scrapbooks. We have to think about how to fight against them, without making it obvious. I told myself that there was no going back, and I put the phone down.
Oh my god.
Oh boy. Oh, montage.
The next day, Rena came to school acting normally like she said she would. She talked with Mion as cheerfully as she always did, and it made me wonder if the story she told me last night was a complete fabrication. That's because the story really was too ridiculously crazy to believe. This village has a very weird and rare endemic disease, and there are religious fanatics who want to use the disease to revive their weird cult. And they've been researching the pathogen of the endemic disease so they can spread it throughout the village. I was deeply influenced by Rena last night, and I believed everything she said. But thinking about it with a cool mind under the bright sunlight, it sounds too crazy to be true. The story Rena told me is based on Girlfriend Son's crazy hand-me-down ideas. It's based entirely on her theories, which, though very feasible, have no evidence whatsoever. The fact that Girlfriend Son was murdered lends credit to the story, I'll give you that, but... I looked at Mion. She was fooling around with Rena. It's hard to believe that she's involved with some crazy conspiracy. Hey, are you listening, Kei-chan?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Wake up, sleepyhead. You need to get enough sleep or your brain stops working. Mion made fun of me for reacting too slowly. It's almost impossible not to trust this bubbly, cheerful girl. I trust Mion. I trust my friends. I know she'd never have a hand in a crazy conspiracy like that. If she knew about it, she wouldn't be able to act this cheerfully. Rena told me not to tell Mion because she might be one of them. But it might be worth telling her without letting Rena know. Of course, there's at least 1% chance that the conspiracy is true and that Mion is one of them. If so, I'd be doomed. But if I had to choose between believing the crazy conspiracy theory and trusting my friends, my answer would be obvious. I know that my friend Mion isn't part of any conspiracy. She'd never be involved with something like that. Even if the conspiracy exists, I'm sure Mion would be on our side. So whether or not it's true, it must be worth telling Mion about it. What's going on, Kei-chan? Why did you call me out here? You told me not to tell anybody. You're not going to extort money from me, are you?
Is that the first thing you think of when you're called out to the gymnasium storeroom?
Oh, I know. You want to give me a love letter, don't you? People usually use the shoe locker for that, you know?
We don't really do that in the city. A lot of guys hand over their love letters in person.
Really? So wait, you're,
Are you kidding me? That's not why I called you here. I have to talk to you about something very important. I want you to listen without making fun of me.
what is it?
She's rattled.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that there are people who want to revive the cult of... Why are you telling her? Who want to revive the cult of Oyashirozama?
Huh? What? What are you talking about? This, of course, was just my way of getting a feel for the situation. I wanted to see how she was going to react by getting straight to the point. But Mion really did look puzzled. People wouldn't normally react like this if someone pointed out their secrets out of the blue. They always panic, if only just a little. Either Mion was a brilliant actress, or she really didn't have anything to do with the idea of reviving Oyashirozama. Well, we know Shion is the brilliant actress. I decided to tell her everything.
Man, your family, the Sonozaki family, has a lot of influence in this region, including Hinamizawa, right? Do you think that there's a possibility that they're working to revive the cult of Oyashiro-sama behind the scenes?
Revive? Why?
Well, you know, people today don't worship Oyashiro-sama like the people in the old days did. So people, like fundamentalists, might be trying to make people worship Oyashiro-sama in the same ways the people of Onikafuji.
What? Wait a second. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Are you sure? You really have no idea what I'm talking about?
Of course I don't. It sounds like one of those popular novels that sold 5 million copies over in America. Mion's reaction was very natural. It seemed impossible that she was pretending that she didn't know anything about it.
Now, how many copies of Higurashi have been sold?
I don't know.
1 second, please wait as I look it up.
It seemed impossible that she was pretending that she didn't know anything about it. But regardless, I continued.
Oh, not anywhere near 5 million, it looks like. Oh no, that's the PS2 port.
Don't go looking up shit! Don't you fucking look up shit! Gonna stumble on secrets again. Don't you fucking spoil yourself again.
I'm using the Google preview.
No, don't do that either. Who knows? Stop, just stop. Let's go back. Focus.
Well, there are people like that in this village, for real. Do you know anything about them?
You're saying that those people want to make us worship You're saying that those people want to make us worship Oyashiro-sama like the people of Onikafuji did. What good will that do? Bleh.
You know, I think it means a lot to people who really believe.
But think about it, Kei-chan. Who'd be happy to live under those strict ancient rules? In this day and age, it's almost impossible to live without leaving the village.
But for example, think about Rika. All the old people say she's a reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama, right? Those people might be religious fanatics and...
Are you talking about old man Kimiyoshi? Well, I know he's a deeply religious man for sure, but he isn't a fanatic.
Believe me, there really are people who are trying to revive the cult of Oyashiro-sama.
Okay, I'll believe you for now, but because I want to hear the rest. Go on.
Oh my god, Keiichi. Why are you telling her all of this?
This is painful to just listen to you guys talk right now.
I found out that the Curse of Oyashirozama was just an endemic disease unique to this village, so now they're researching the pathogen. Okay, cool.
Where? First of all, what's an endemic disease? What's a pathogen? They sound gross. I was getting confused. I didn't know what I was talking about myself anymore. I was deeply influenced by Rena last night and believed everything she said, but having said it all out loud, I started realizing how impossible the story sounded. What's going on with you? Did Creepy-san tell you all this?
How did you know?
She's infamous for this kind of thing. She's an occult maniac. She always makes up crazy stories. A few people have gotten badly taken in by her before. She told me some of her stories once, and I remember they were actually very interesting.
Is that true?
I think you've heard about this once or twice before, but this village had a unique culture back in the old days. They did a lot of oppressive things, like having very strict rules, very strict punishments, and a bunch of other cruel traditions. They're well known among occult maniacs. Creepy-san is one of them.
So, the story I heard about the weird parasite that controls the village was...
What? Parasite? Is that a new story she came up with?
What do you mean, new story?
I told you, Creepy-san is an occult maniac. She studies the weird legends surrounding Onikafuji and enjoys making up hypotheses, theories, and wild stories about them. She's created a lot of different ones aside from the theory that parasites are controlling the village. One I heard an awful while back was about UFOs. That one was interesting since it connected to a lot of different dots. The story was about a UFO that crashed into Onigafuchi Swamp long ago. The alien that was in the UFO and the villagers had a battle, or something like that. It was one of those sci-fi horror B movies. The one Satoko heard was a theory about creatures from the bottom of the ocean. A movement in the Earth's crust opened up a connection between the underwater world and Onigafuchi, and the princess of the underworld fell in love with a young man in the village. It was like a sci-fi version of Romeo and Juliet. The story about the parasites that you heard must be a new one. I hope she makes all of them into a book one day. Mian began laughing so hard she had to hold her stomach. As I looked at her laughing like that, I realized I fell for something that ridiculous. At that point, it was obvious. I had been completely taken in.
I'm sorry, Neon, but please answer my questions. First, do the fanatics who are trying to revive the cult of Oyashirozama exist?
No, they don't. I mean, it's totally the opposite. The three families have agreed to open Hinamizawa to outsiders in order to make this village thrive. I'm not supposed to tell anybody about this, but there's a project to build a new highway by the end of the 20th century. The Sonozaki family is promoting its construction without informing the villagers. If all goes well, this whole area will flourish. My grandma's betting she'll make a fortune when it causes land prices in the region to skyrocket. Well, most of the work will happen in the 21st century, so I'll likely end up taking over the project.
So, you don't think there are people who hate outsiders?
I told you, there are no such people. What makes you think we want to make this village more inconvenient than it already is? In fact, we've already started selling the land of the village to rich people who want to build country residences here. Your house is on the first lot we sold, Kei-chan. Didn't the villagers welcome you? The three families are trying to do everything they can to stop young people from leaving the village. There was nothing vague about... Oh, whoops. There was nothing vague about what Mian had said. Her story makes a lot more sense than Girlfriend Son's delusional theories. And so Mian's words woke me from that delusion.
So, what about this? I heard that the residents of Hinamizawa have extraordinarily high levels of something in their blood, and it proves that they're infected by parasites.
Really? How did Creepy-san figure that out?
Kirby-san is a nurse. I'm sure she can do that.
And do you think anyone would give her blood samples for no reason? Because I sure don't. Even if she could get blood samples somehow, now and where would she examine them? How many blood samples do you think she examined all by herself? Mion was right. I couldn't believe I thought Girlfriend Son could do all that just because she was a nurse. It struck me hard to believe that she got that many blood samples and did a high-level examination like that without any help. When I thought about it rationally, I shouldn't have believed such a ridiculous story so easily.
I heard the people here don't get hay fever, which is proof of their being infected by the parasite. Keiichi, you are really reaching here.
Only people in cities get hay fever, or it has something to do with fuel emissions. Kei-chan, you're talking about Hinamizawa. I mean, even people in Okinomiya don't get hay fever, I think.
Well, what about this? I heard that the Sonozaki failed. Keiichi.
You're literally pulling at strings.
I heard that the Sonozaki family is a death squad and that they kidnapped the grandson of a government minister once. Well, I mean, I don't know about them being a death squad, but they did kidnap their grandson at one point.
That sounds cool. I wish I had a squad like that. Even I was sounding ridiculous, but I believed all of it last night. I believed it because Rena looked very serious. It's true that the grandson of a minister was found in Takasudo. We didn't do it. We just acted as if we did.
What do you mean? Please explain. I'm pretty sure that they struck that the Sonozakis actually did this.
Okay. The Onigafuchi Guardians protested violently during the dam conflict. They did something close to terrorism as well. But there were people who used the resistance movement for their own benefits. They used the name of the Onigafuchi Guardians to rob people of money and valuables. The Onigafuchi Guardians were a very aggressive force at that time. There's a high probability that some of the people thought they could use the name to extort money. The kidnapping case was one of those incidents. The kidnappers thought that they could stifle the police investigation by acting like they were the Onigafuchi Guardians. They kidnapped the boy to demand a ransom. To tell you the truth, the members of the Onigafuchi Guardians were all very surprised. They were actually impressed that those guys actually pulled it off. I remember they even said they'd give them an award.
Wait a second. So the Onigafuchi Guardians had nothing to do with the kidnapping? We know that's false.
No, not at all. Mion said it firmly. It was a simple and clear answer, which left no room for suspicion. And thinking about it, there's nothing surprising. Kidnapping the grandson of a minister and negotiating with him in person is a huge deal. The Onigafuchi Guardians were a very aggressive group, but this operation wasn't so easy that it could be carried out by any of the normal residents of Hinamizawa. It was obviously the work of professional criminals, without a doubt. Like I said earlier, the Sonozaki family acted as if we were the masterminds of the kidnapping case.
What do you mean by that?
This is a secret precept of the Sonozaki family. You can't really tell anybody about this, okay? When an incident like this happens, we traditionally act as if we're responsible for it. It's a tradition of bluffing.
Bluffing?
Yeah. It doesn't matter what it is as long as it works out in our favor. It can be a criminal incident, the weather, or even lottery numbers. We act as if it happened because of the Sonozaki family wanted it to happen. It starts to sound like we're a very powerful organization, doesn't it? That's the point. This is a secret strategy that only the Sonozaki family heads know about. The strategy is meant to make us look bigger and stronger than we really are.
Wow. So what about the plan they had during the dam conflict? One to attack the Ministry of Construction. Is that true? I heard that they obtained weapons and even trained for it.
That was the spin we put on it. There's no way we could actually carry out a crazy plan like that.
But you did!
Our real goal was to make the people believe that we were capable of doing things like that so we could exact pressure on the government. That's all. They obtained weapons and went through training just so they could exact pressure. They had no intention of actually carrying out the plan. The Sonozaki family was just bluffing. That made sense. Of course it did. It's impossible to hack the Ministry of Construction. Even if they did, it wouldn't solve the problem. All they had to do was use common sense. Even if they did, they would have been crushed within seconds by that huge number of policemen. Why didn't I think of that?
What about the weapons and the training?
As for the weapons, no comment. But we did go through training. We needed to do that in order to make the bluff look real. We gathered some younger men from my father's office and appointed Kasai-san as leader of the group. We went to a desert in Texas, played war games with some instructors, and went sightseeing in San Francisco afterwards.
So...
I couldn't think of anything else. It was obvious now. Rena and I both were completely fooled by the scrapbooks of Girlfriend Son's delusion. Rena was so serious about it, so I believed her, but if you examined it closely, there were so many inconsistencies. I couldn't believe Rena took a delusion like that so seriously. I knew the reason why, though. She was still in a state of shock after being caught with the corpses that day. She was mentally unstable. Then she came across this tall tale, and she believed it. Rena's a smart girl. She wouldn't have taken it seriously if she was stable. Plus, another thing happened to wake me up from the delusion. The white van I saw yesterday came to school during lunch break. The 4 men in work uniforms I saw were there too. I said thank you to Mion and followed them. The man who talked to me yesterday knocked on the door of the teacher's office.
Hello!
Hello.
Go ahead. You did
Hello,
these guys last time.
I'm from the Okonogi Gardeners.
Oh, thank you for coming. It's very hot today, isn't it?
Sure is. By the way, you look very beautiful today, as always.
Thank you. Well, I can start whenever you're ready.
Yes, we'll start right away. My account manager told me to give this to you.
The quote and the invoice, I see. The date is left blank on both of them. Well, there shouldn't be any problem. Thank you so much.
Alright, we'll get started right away.
The man was talking to Chie-sensei with a big smile. What are you doing here, my Barakun? Oh, that was... Oh.
What are you doing here, my Barakun?
I'm pretty sure that's the voice
Yep,
the
that's the
principal
principal.
had. I
That's the
don't
principal.
remember.
Something like that.
Oh, principal. Who is that guy?
The principal pointed his finger at the window. I looked out. I heard the noise of an engine starting. The noise was coming from the engine of a motorized lawnmower. I saw a young man at work uniforms taking another lawnmower, some brooms, and a ladder out of the van.
They're gardeners. We hadn't taken care of the grass around the fence and the trees for a long time. I wanted to clean them up before summer.
Mr. Prince. Oh,
Mr. Principal, thank you for giving us a call.
The man noticed the principal, took off his hat, and bowed.
No need. I trust your work. Please take care of things.
I think we can finish it today. We might make a lot of noise, though.
Each worker took one of the tools and walked towards the fence where the grass was growing. The engine of the lawnmower was very loud, and the kids who were playing in the schoolyard looked at it curiously. Hey, it's dangerous out here. Go back to your classroom. It was Chie-sensei. She handed an envelope with the documents in it to the principal. It said Okanoki Gardeners in green on the envelope. Principal, please sign the invoice and drop it off at their office next time you go to the town hall.
Course, will do.
Chie-sensei. Did they come here yesterday?
Yes, they came here to look at the grass late in the afternoon. They told me they got lost on the way back because they tried to take a shortcut.
This village has a lot of small roads branching off everywhere. And they can be very confusing.
I remember when I first came here. Chie-sensei started talking about when she got lost and they laughed together, and then she started talking about curry.
Of course.
As one does.
There was never anything suspicious to begin with. I thought they were suspicious yesterday because of what Ren had told me. At first I thought it wasn't unusual to see a white van. But then right after I heard a creepy story, I saw a white van parked on the road and I got scared. The gardeners weren't familiar with the roads of Hinamizawa, and they got lost trying to take a shortcut on their way back. That's all. I had it totally twisted around? I believed that fake-sounding story. I believed that the Sonozaki family was working behind the scenes, and I fabricated the existence of a group of fanatical believers in my mind. Worse, I doubted Neon. Damn it! I'm such a fool! She's my friend! We took each other's hands that day, saying that we were a family made of friends, and that friends were friends no matter what. I said that, but then I doubted my friend. I'm so stupid! Anyway, Rena was the problem. She also needed to wake up from this crazy delusion. I had to hurry and wake her up. Rena seemed like she had no mind to listen to anyone else. Oh no.
Oh no!
She truly believes that the Sonozaki family are the masterminds of the large conspiracy theory.
Oh no!
Nothing's gonna happen, guys. It's fine.
Oh god.
Oh no. Is it even darker than last time, or am I crazy?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
It does seem a little darker.
Do you want to take over for narration for a bit, Kayla?
Sure. I remember the plate number of the white van. I also remembered the faces. Without a doubt, this was one of the vans that had been following me. So far, I've confirmed that 3 or 4 cars have been following me. I can especially recall this white van because it followed me around the longest of all. The people who were in the other cars must have been lookouts, and the ones in this van must have been tasked with direct contact, like kidnapping or assassination. The lookouts secure their surroundings, and the ones in this van attack the target. That's a common maneuver involved in both kidnapping and assassinations. Scrapbook said that too. If so, I better watch out because it was them, and not the lookouts, who came to the school premises. I don't think they'll attack me while I'm in school. They're in the early stage of their covert operation now, hiding their fangs and claws until the last stage of their horrifying scheme. That's why they won't take action in the school. People are watching. But it looked like they were talking with Chie-sensei in a very friendly way. I could only hear bits and pieces of their conversation, but it sounded very suspicious. I tried to remember the chatter, the movements of the mouth. I played my memory of it like a videotape in my mind.
Hello. Oh, everyone. Oh, thank you for coming. It's very hot today, isn't it?
It sure is. You...
What?
Today...
Thank you. Well, you can start whenever you're ready.
Yes, we'll start right away. My account manager told me to give this to you.
The blank I see is left blank on. Well, there shouldn't be any problem. Thank you so much.
Alright,
What?
I used the information I had to guess what was going on. I played the video again and again in my mind. There's no video. And paused it, played it in slow motion again to check many times. And then something unbelievably horrifying started to emerge. There's no doubt that they're acquainted with Chia-sensei. But I've never seen them visit the school before, so it's hard to believe that Chia-sensei is their contact. There's no doubt they're the Dust Squad under the direct control of the Sonozaki family.
Oh.
They have the local accent, which proves that they were chosen from the Sonozaki Corps. The Dust Squad was talking with Chia-sensei. They know each other. What's their relationship?
Oh no.
Of course, this dips into my most hated trope.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten about your hatred of dramatic irony.
Wait, what? What's your most hated trope?
Either comedy of errors, dramatic irony, when the audience knows a bit more about what's going on, but the character doesn't. Mistaken identity, that kind of shit.
Who is Chia-sensei anyway?
I can't. Fuck. Go away. Go away. There we go.
Look, you can't just tell the game to go away, Flint.
No, not the game. The fucking, like, pop-ups that were going in front of the next button.
During the Dame conflict, Hinamizawa's school was closed and was merged with the one in Okonomiya. But the Onogufuchi Guardians didn't accept that, and they made part of the Forestry Service building into a school. But needless to say, the school that they made didn't have a teacher. So it was only going to be a token form of resistance. But a teacher who had a strong passion for education felt sorry for the children, and she came to work there. That was Rimiko Chia-sensei. It was obviously strange. Teachers are government employees, and they normally belong to the prefectures. As long as they lie low and don't cause trouble, they don't get fired, and they don't get demoted. They can work up into the official retirement age, and they're guaranteed to get a fixed retirement fund. She was one of the government employees. She was one of those government employees, but she defied the Board of Education and came to work for Hinamizawa. The villagers admired her as a teacher of passion. I heard that Oyo Sonozaki herself successfully negotiated with the Board of Education that suspended Chia-sensei for defying their orders.
And now she teaches a bunch of kids of various different ages, and some of them don't get educations because she's too focused on the younger ones.
Yep. It was easy to get an answer from this by connecting the dots and incorrect ones.
God.
Chia-sensei was recruited by Oyo Sonozaki as a teacher to work at the school the Onogufuchi Guardians had created. In other words, she was already working for Oyo before she came here. As for the principal, he was the principal of the school in Hinamizawa from the beginning. He was a respected person of this region, and he's been closely associated with the three families for a long time. So that means this school has been under the control of the Sonozaki family all along. That's why Chia-sensei is acquainted with the Death Squad. It makes sense now. Chia-sensei confirmed that I came to school today, made a phone call, and called them there? I don't know why she called them there. If she called them just to monitor me, they'd wait near the gate until class was over. But they came onto the school premises. Why? Stop pretending to be a fool, Ren Ryugu. Do you think nothing would happen if you pretend not to notice it? Think. Think hard and calm down, Ren and Ryugu. What will they try to do to me today in school? In school? How are they going to do anything with my classmates or friends around me? It's easy. Chinsei will tell me to come to the teacher's office during the last class of the day. What about my clubmates? That's easy too. Chinsei can easily make them go home early using her authority as teacher. She can also make up any excuse she wants. Maybe the classroom is going to have carpentry work done today, so they can't stay in school.
Or gardening.
It sure is. You, today.
Thank you. Well, you can start whenever you're ready.
See, there's no doubt. They clearly said they're ready to do it today.
Oh my god. What else?
And what else? Yes, we'll start right away. My account manager told me to give this to you.
I'm like, I see. Is left blank on. Well, there shouldn't be any problem. Thank you so much.
I see. They gave Chase an envelope with some documents in it. That blank is an eerie phrase. Was my name supposed to be blank? Why is it left blank? What does that mean? I told you, Ren and Ryugu. Do you still think nothing will happen if you pretend not to notice it? Stop that. So what it must mean is that the order from higher up is to make Ren and Ryugu become blank. I took a peek from the shadows and I saw the principal taking the documents out from the envelope and started reading them. He looked stern. He looked very serious. I wish I could take a peek at the documents, but I was too far away. I kept looking at him just to see if he reacted at all. And then the envelope caught my eye. The envelope said Okunogi Gardeners, and it had some numbers that looked like a phone number. Fortunately, I have good eyesight. I memorized the number. If they're Diff Squad, the gardening company must be a camouflage occupation. Probably doesn't even exist. I wanted to find out. I looked for a phone. There's only one phone, and it's in the teacher's office. Fortunately, the teachers were chatting in the hallway looking at the gardeners. It was now or never. I made sure nobody was watching me go into the teacher's office. I rushed in and grabbed the phone on the principal's desk. I went over the phone number in my head and dialed it up. I'm glad they have a touch tone phone. It would have been difficult if it was a rotary dial. If somebody answered, I only have to ask, is this the Okunogi Gardeners? I'd wait for the answer before hanging up. Should be easy. It connected.
The number you dialed is...
A cold chill runs through my body from the bottom of my feet. Wait, don't make a quick judgment. I might have remembered the number wrong. No, I know I remembered it right. It was an easy number to remember. It's impossible to remember it wrong. Then
What is it? 567-1111?
867-5309, obviously.
Then did I dial it wrong? I put the phone down and started over. This time I dialed the number more slowly. Teachers might be coming back at any time. In that situation, it was risky to do anything slowly. But I needed to make absolutely sure.
The number you dialed is...
It's the same. There's no doubt. I remembered the phone number wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The company of Okunogi Gardeners doesn't exist. It's just a camouflage occupation for the Sonozaki family death squad.
Please make sure the number you dialed is correct. The number you dialed is...
I was too stunned to put down the receiver. The announcement kept running over and over again. The voice was cold and creepy. Damn, Flint. The voice was cold and creepy, I'm sorry.
Damn.
I hung up the phone and rushed out of the teacher's office. I ran to the bathroom and held my head in an attempt to cool down. Calm down, Rena. Calm down, Rena Ryugu. Stay cool. Rena Ryugu! I wasn't safe here anymore. If I stayed here, I might be erased. Even in the open. They'd erase me? Why? They are certain that I have the scrapbooks. I told Keiichi-kun where I hid the scrapbooks. God. Yesterday, I told him I hid them in my hideout in the garbage dump. Is Keiichi-kun in cahoots with the Sonozaki family? Felt as if my head was a pot that was cooking some dubious stew. There was only
Dubious
soup in my
stew.
brain. I cut up clues, information, and facts that just like I cut up vegetables and threw them into the pot. Some of them were floating on the surface, and others were on the bottom of the pot. They were being cooked in a boiling soup. No, he can't be. Keiichi-kun is on my side. He's the only one who's on my side. He held out his hand to me at that trash pile. There was no lie in that hand. When he grabbed my wrist, I felt nothing but a strong and pure heart. He promised me that he'd be on my side. I shouldn't doubt Keiichi-kun. He's the only one I could trust. He's the only one who's on my side right now.
Oh no, Keiichi. Don't come back right now.
Oh no.
Mm.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Keiichi-kun. I was about to doubt you. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. I said it out loud on purpose. For the regret that I had doubted Keiichi-kun, who was on my side. Now that I think about it, whether I have the scrapbooks or not might not matter to them, or is anyone who's suspicious. The safest way. Does that mean they're in a hurry? The day of Oyashirozama's revival might be just around the corner. And that's why they're trying to get rid of any small fish bones that are stuck in the throat, by any means, before it's too late. We don't need her anymore. Just erase her if you're that worried so much. I could easily picture Oryo Sonozaki saying that. Picture? No, she did say that. That's why they're here today. What should I do? What should I do? Should I wait until school's over? I was like a fish in a pond. No matter how many times I escaped from a net, I was in the pond, and they own the pond. I didn't stand a chance. Then what should I do now? I couldn't keep escaping from the net. I should get out of the pond. I don't know how to fight them. I didn't know who's on my side. I was about to give in to despair. For now, I have to think about how to survive this. So at least I have some time to think about how to fight against them. I have to get out of this pond. I was about to leave the bathroom. One of my classmates came in. I pretended to be sick and talked to the girl while leaning on the wall. I don't feel too good. Think I better go home. Can you tell Chie-sensei I left school early? I shouldn't let Chie-sensei know I'm leaving school early if I'm trying to run away from them. But if I didn't, they might think I ran away without cause. That might lead them to chase after me without mercy. If that happens, I don't stand a chance. They're planning to capture me after school's over, but I happen to feel sick and left school early. If they took it that way, they wouldn't think that I noticed the noose tightening. I was about to go back to the classroom to get my bag, but I changed my mind and turned around. I didn't need my bag anymore. I realized nobody was watching me, so I stopped pretending to be sick and started running.
Oh shit.
Hmm?
Who?
I don't know.
Is this the gardeners?
I feel like this is the gardeners.
Hey,
Chie-sensei, look at this.
take a look. Is something wrong with their documents? Oh, the principal.
No, that's
Maybe.
Yes, the date on the quote and the invoice are left blank. Supposed to put today's date here.
Oh, they wanted to leave them blank. They said they couldn't put the same date on the quote and the invoice. They're told to leave them blank by General Affairs.
Okay then. The phone number on the invoice is different from the one on the envelope. Do you know which is the correct one?
Oh, I didn't notice that. Hello, excuse me.
Yes? What's the matter?
The phone number on the invoice is different from the one on the envelope. Which one is correct?
Oh. It's the one on the invoice. I used an old envelope we used at our former office. Sorry about that. I told a part-timer to add a stamp with a new phone number, but I guess she forgot. I apologize for the confusion. Can you please just erase the number?
Oh, no.
Well, shit. Ah, list 3.
Oh, good.
Fish in a pond.
The danger of a culture-bound
No, keep going.
syndrome lies in the fact that it can easily trigger delusional misidentification syndrome. That is to say, in the current case, every time the patient sees something trivial, she might try to interpret it as a curse. It is believed that as a result of the accumulation of these events in understandable form, a delusional system is created, ultimately leading to paranoia. Furthermore, the patient is also exhibiting slight signs of personality disorder. Of course, it's a very mild level, and it's not causing any hindrance whatsoever to the patient's daily life. It's common for even healthy patients to have primarily delusions in their daily lives. But they usually ignore it automatically without recognition. Those delusions are nonsensical. However, there are cases where these delusions augment despite being incomprehensible. It largely depends on the particular characteristics of the individual. It is largely believed that the patient shows relatively strong characteristics in this area. I believe that you're very much aware that the primary delusions are categorized into 3 different kinds. Delusional mood is a feeling of an impending crisis without basis. Delusional intuition is a feeling of a sense of duty or goals.
Sorry.
Or a goal without basis. Delusional perception is a feeling of baseless cause against a baseless target.
Wait, I need to... Hold on, I need to remember some of this because I feel like I'm using it in Metaverse. So, there we go. Okay, there we go.
In the patient's case, it's believed that these incomprehensible delusions accumulated, acting out simultaneously in the ultra-bound syndrome, which triggered a delusional misidentification syndrome. It is ultimately caused by the incomprehensible delusions to become accidentally by interpreting them as a curse. The incomprehensible delusional system induces understanding secondary delusions, further restricting the patient's delusional system with the passage of time. Delusional parasitosis mentioned earlier can be considered a secondary delusion. A common factor of all these cases of paranoia is that even after an outbreak, they still appear perfectly normal with no change in their personalities. The patients are unaware of their own ailments, and due to the personal interpretations of their delusional systems, there are many cases where the patients arm themselves logically, making it extremely difficult for a third party to point out that they're having a delusion. Furthermore, although it may depend on the tendency of the delusions, there are also cases where a persecutionary delusion turns into a pursuit delusion or conspiracy delusion, resulting in the patient creating an imaginary enemy and taking up antisocial behavior.
Guess who else did that
sounds
before?
familiar.
Not just Rena.
Kichi?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. For example, there are cases where believers of a religious cult were deeply influenced by the cult's founder paranoid visions, which shifted the group into a conspiracy delusion, and that made them conduct antisocial behavior in the name of self-defense. Although no such cases being reported in Japan yet, it could very well happen in the near future.
Yeah, like Keiichi was against Rena and Mion, or thought that they were against him.
Oh. You're right. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who never actually found a needle?
No. Oh. God. Oh my god. Fortunately, the patient hadn't
What the
reached
fuck
that
was
serious
that?
condition of now. With proper treatment, she should be able to make a full recovery. Please make sure that her father also understands that this is not an unusual case, but something caused by an amalgamation of a number of innocent factors that anyone could have. The patient can be treated only by deepening her bond with her father. As long as she has that bond, she can certainly be treated. She does not have that bond. For the reasons above, and if the patient is to return to her home village, I strongly recommend that the patient continue to receive guidance from a specialized medical institution. Please excuse me for writing such a long letter. Thank you for reading this until the very end. Well, her bond with her father is not deep. Oh.
Save.
It is not. That is accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think she's been getting treatment from medical institutions.
Nope.
Nope.
And I'm absolutely hating the evil bell sound continuously going off.
Yeah.
That's not an evil bell sound.
It is an evil bell sound.
Fair enough. This is a religious bell sound.
It was a religious bell sound, but now it is an evil bell sound.
Now it's an evil bell sound. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, we're getting lots of information. We're definitely getting lots of information.
We sure are. Damn.
That, yeah. Yeah.
No, parasites.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
parasites and delusions being passed on to people, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit lost.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
I'm sure it will all make sense eventually, but I am a little
Okay,
bit lost.
What are you lost about? Let's.
I'm just not fully getting all the ramifications of the delusion stuff, I think. I'm sure it will come out eventually. But
Well-
for now, I am just there was a lot of science and psychology bullshit in this episode of Higurashi.
Well, a little bit, but it does bring other things into perspective from previous question arcs,
Yeah, I guess.
True.
like the demon or the like paranoia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, assuming it's all true, but it is from Creepy Girlfriend's notebooks.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think those do have as close to truth as we're going to get for a while in them. So, and it makes sense.
Hmm.
It doesn't explain everything, but it does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Although Mion is also kind of full of shit.
Hmm.
I don't know what was with her whole explanation there.
Hmm.
Because what's his face?
Hmm.
What?
What? Keep going.
What were you going to say?
No, keep going first.
Because we saw the kidnapping of the Minister of Construction.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty clear in Arc 4 that, like, the Sonozakis did that.
I thought it was. I didn't think it was the Sonosakis who did it. She just gave the order to release him, but they never ordered it. The villagers just did it their own. I think. Is how
Yeah, but there's no
I'm
fucking way
understanding
that
it.
they did that. There's no fucking way that they just did that on their own. Like, she knew, basically, as soon as they'd kidnapped him, she knew where he was. Like,
Well, yeah, she knew exactly after it got done, but she never gave the order.
not that we
Sonozakis
saw,
never.
but, like...
Well, yeah.
Hmm.
No, but she
I
only
don't
gave
know,
the order to go release him.
Like, true, but at the same time, given all of the other things we've seen about the Sonozakis, like their fucking murder chamber and all the stuff we got in Arc 4 about how, like, about how the kidnapping shook out, I have a hard time taking Mion's kind of dismissal of the whole thing at face value right now.
Like they have
understandable.
the chamber, but they're also like full of yakuza, and you only see it like besides people that are like going insane, like Shion using it. They use it against themselves as punishment.
Yeah.
And we at least we have the thing that we've seen some things in tips in various situations where like Oreo isn't as bad as she makes herself out to be. Like she forgives Shion. She really does, because they didn't actually do that. She's also on pretty good. It seems like she's on pretty good terms with her daughter, even though her daughter got excommunicated from the family, essentially.
Yeah, like Oreo's not as bad as Oreo's not the mass murdering psychopath who's in charge of the Curse of Oyashirozama. That is pretty apparent at this point, I think. But that doesn't necessarily mean that she's like above kidnapping somebody's grandson in order to secure her ancestral home, in order to make sure that her ancestral home stays existing. Her ancestral home, and probably a lot of her power base too.
She's also okay with the highway.
Yeah, but the highway's not going to wipe out Hinamizawa as a place. Like, they stand to gain a lot from that. Like, it's a completely reasonable thing for, like, especially, like, the way Shion put it, it's or the way Mion, I guess it's accurate to call her Mion or Shion at this point. But the way Mion put it, like, that's a reasonable thing for her to be okay with. She stands to make a lot of money and to keep more people in Hinamizawa and keep it from becoming, like, a fucking ghost town.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, I'm super against the idea of just this random group of other people showing up and having been responsible for it when we have the Sonosaki family right there.
I'm just saying, I don't think that the Sozaki family kidnapped him. I think it was just some other villagers, or, as you put it, another random group. And she just gave the order to release him.
Like, where the fuck did these random people come from? Who the fuck
villagers.
are they?
My God, maybe
Random-ass
we'll learn these
villagers.
questions.
God damn it, Flint. I fucking hate you.
No, you don't. But yeah, we should probably end it there then. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm gonna stop being angry face. Come on, there we go. Happy. Let's go.
Wow, you're angry at us for joining? I can't
No.
How dare you?
God damn it. Stop.
believe
But yeah. We should be back next week. Yes, no?
Yeah.
More for next week.
So, yeah.
Yay. We'll figure out what the fuck is going on, and this one's gonna be hard though, because Rena, my girl.
Yeah, what? Oh yeah, she's going batshit.
And
Literally
I have to deal with
crazy.
I have to deal with my trope in this. I don't like it. This is gonna be hard. I hope so. I don't know how many chapters we have left in this. But we shall see. So yeah, we'll be back next week. I think if you're back with me, I'll be back tomorrow for D&D. Yes, David? No? You busy?
Yes.
Yeah, pirates. We be in pirates.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Pirates of Yali are back tomorrow. So until then, who can I send y'all to for the night? Who's doing the thing? Let me get my list and hold on. I've saved. Let's stop listening to the
Yeah.
Let's stop
the
listening to
fucking
that.
bells.
Yeah, let me absolutely make sure I saved. Okay, got it.
Bells
Got it.
suck.
Yep, there we go.
I hate it.
There we go. So
it,
yeah. Who do we got? Looking down the list. Let's see. Oh, is tonight a... I will send you... Oh! My friend Ava's doing some Dungeons and Dragons. I don't get to raid Ava very often. So, considering we're doing Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow, let me send you her way. Y'all are great. Thank you again, David and Kayla. I will see you all tomorrow or next week, depending on what you're around for. So until then, you all stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye.
I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be in whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral